Wow.
Live
Here
again,
we are.
finally. All right, cool.
Live
Sorry
again.
for the delay.
We were waiting on our boy.
Ruining my mojo. Trying to introduce everybody and
Well,
shit.
you do this to me.
Welcome back. Sorry for the delay. Dylan was running a little bit late from his fire academy. You know he's a superhero and everything. So we're going to breeze through this introduction real quick. Guy in the purple hair is Mike. He plays Bliss Kai. Guy with I can't even say guy with a beard. We'll just go guy with the mustache over there. Excellent mustache. That's Dylan. He's the reason we're running late. He's playing our artificer gnome. We got the lovely my lovely wife at the bottom. That's going to be Zula Fern. She's our druid, homebrew druid. Of the harvest, spooky, fits the season. Orange beard, big guy, tank top is going to be that's going to be Loreno Hope Civ, our tiefling warlock, complete badass. Purple band hat with a beard is going to be with blue box on shirt. That's going to be Oren. He is our
Police
our sorcerer. We just found his son, and his son is the source of his power, and we're going to address that today. Okay, and last but not least, the other beard guy, black shirt, is going to be Timbo Slice over there. That's Kashta Nananga, our witch doctor, and I'm the DM. I'm Dave. Before we get started, we have two things. Ashley, you want to talk about a little bit of some project that you're working on, right?
Yes. So, hi everyone. So I don't know if we've mentioned. Yes, we have mentioned it here before, but Dave and I have two kids. Our sweet David and Olivia, and most of you don't know that David was actually born extremely premature. We actually both almost died at birth, so it's a pretty traumatic experience, but we both obviously made it through, and he's 4 and thriving, which is awesome, and loves Dungeons and Dragons. Well, we were actually picked as an ambassador family for this year's March of Dimes event to raise money for March of Dimes because they helped us intensely while we were in the NICU for 66 days and also when I was in the hospital, which is medical procedures that we didn't have to pay for, with resources that I could look into, and basically the 101 on how to be a mom while you're in the NICU. And so it's definitely a program that's very near and dear to our heart. And because of this experience, I also did write a children's book that's coming out later. But if anyone, I know it's a crazy time, but if anyone knows someone who's gone through this or, feel inspired, we will be posting the link later if you can please help donate so that we can raise money for such an amazing cause. I also have an extra link that if you want to get something out of your donation, we created t-shirts for this event that says Preemies Assemble, because my son's favorite superhero is Captain America. So I thank you all in advance. Please definitely share the link once we put it out because, again, it is very near dear to both Dave and my heart, especially, Dave almost lost this, and that is, guys, I'm just kidding. But, yeah, so thank you in advance, and we will post that after this session, and I appreciate everything and all you guys watching. All right, and then on to Nick Palmer, because now you have something near and dear, too.
Yes. So what's up, guys? It's felt like, even though it's been like only a handful of days, it's felt like forever. I really thrive on D&D. It is my life juice. Anyone who's in the Connecticut 203 area might want to check out Battlegrounds Gaming. It's in Norwalk, Connecticut. If you want to hit up their website, it's www.battlegroundsgaming.net. They have a ton of RPGs. They have a wide selection of WizKids miniatures and paint lines from Citadel and Reaper. They have rentable table space for one-shots. They're really a great brick-and-mortar location for what we love to do, which is, roll natural 20s and kill monsters. So check them out, Battlegrounds Gaming.
Massacre them. Awesome.
My boy.
And any the other squirrels, anything nutty to add?
Nice.
Also,
Nope. All right. If we are all set, do I have permission from my players to begin?
Can you guys hear me? Just mic check.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
No.
And And Nick, are you having a little bit of issue on your end, jumping in and out of
I
Discord?
just can't see Tim's beautiful facha. That's the only problem.
I could also refresh real quick.
We all need a refresher from time to time, you know.
I mean, I'm okay not seeing Tim, but that's just
Yes,
me.
now we're good.
That's
We're so
just-
good.
All right, good. Okay, let's begin. Last we left off, our group of strangers, now new friends, I would say loose friends, awoke from a well-deserved rest after a violent combat with a zombie and vampire invasion of the last refuge of the Bullywugs in the Husk Valley. As they woke up, they noticed that a battle-hardened Bullywug champion or veteran was arguing with the witch doctor Bullywug you've been conversing with over the past day and a half. The dispute was over whether or not they should bolster themselves here at the refuge and protect their families against the droves of undead, or engage them as they seem to have found out where they have been. The source of where these undead have been coming from, beyond an ancient this legendary door called Pascal's Door that was built directly into the side of a mountain. The veteran Bullywug took interest to Yorig, the party artificer, who believed that someone of his unique skill and ability would be able to open Pascal's Door. Eventually, an agreement was made where all of the Bullywug soldiers would stay in the camp and protect the families, and the group of strangers turned friends would follow the veteran Bullywug through the swamp and to Pascal's Door. Once at the door, they located a fairly odd and immature creature known as a Zorn, consuming the gold and copper parts off of Pascal's Door. Initially, they tried to reason with and question this being, but it was not. It ended up going a little more violently than that. They were able to crack. They were able to crack the code of Pascal's Door, open it, seeing as that it was a strange, almost, extra dimensional space where you're at the door is embedded in a mountain, but when you open the door, there's only so much, maybe 20 feet of tunnel to the other side. It's a very strange kind of feeling. And as they pass through, they see this small pond and these crimson crystals that seem to be soaked in blood sprouting from this pond. And on the other side, a pentagram in blood over several corpses and skeletons, and a grotesque and terrifying creature bearing the strange voice from the from the dark cave where the darkness was so deep and dark, and no matter what you did to pass through it or see through it, it was unable to be dispelled or saw through. And that is where we are now. And I'm going to move the map over. Okay. So at this point, this creature shouts out towards you, saying, "At last you've come to me, to be consumed." And in the middle of this monologue, out of Oren's chest erupts this frigid, ghastly figure, and pops up, looks backwards, and says, "Father, it's Eric. Let's quell this threat once and for all." Everybody to roll some initiative.
Damn.
Booyah. My son.
Let me see if...
Oh, I'm scared.
Great start.
Okay. I'll take it.
Alright, so
You're
let me go
just
to the...
stunned that your son is erupted from your chest.
All right, cool.
Damn,
Let
I
me
did not
start.
want to go first.
All right, okay. Starting at the top. All right, Hope.
I did mine.
Bliss is a 21.
Okay, Bliss is a 21. All right, I just have them listed out, so when I call your name, Hope, what's yours?
Oh, 18, sorry.
18,
I-
Yorig,
10.
and Kashta,
9.
9, Zula,
5.
5, Oren,
A 1.
oh, 1.
Nice.
And Bliss was a
I
21.
can't even say it.
Oren, don't you have a plus initiative or something?
I do.
Nick Palmer.
Actually, I don't. It says initiative 0.
Nick Palmer.
Yeah, what's up, though?
I want to see you roleplay the ever-loving shit out of this natural one right now.
All right, let me see. Okay, wait. Okay, and the turn order thing comes up.
So you
Let me
hear
see if I got
Eric?
everything.
That's the blue dude
Okay.
that's speaking to
so-
Oren.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what you can assume is his son speaking out to him. At the top of the order, Bliss, what are you doing?
Damn, I didn't want to be first. All right.
Wild card.
Lot to take in here. But being the adventure lover that this journey has brought us on, I will be moving as far as I can to the bottom right red crystal, and I'm also going to take my bonus dash action to. Is that like an open casket tomb thingy?
Yes. It's like a giant stone, like, stone like coffin almost.
All right, so it looks like I can't make it that far, but I can make it behind the sapphires in the bottom right. So I'm gonna move and take my dash action to hide behind it.
Okay. You need me to move you, or
Yeah, I got it.
got it? Okay. Perfect. Sounds good. All right. Next up in the order is going to be Hope.
All right. If I see him going over there like that, how deep is this water?
It's about knee deep.
Okay. So it'd probably be considered tough terrain then, huh?
I mean, I would say, I would say no.
Okay. Well, okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to move. Actually, wait. I forgot. I can do this all in one turn. Okay. I am going to point my finger at him and under my breath, mutter the right that I took with Xerxes, and point to him and use Hexblade's Curse as a bonus action. And then
Okay.
I'm going to run my 60 feet because I forgot dashing is an action for me, not a bonus action. 30 and then 60.
Like
So
right
I'll be
here.
on this side.
Right about there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And with blades out, ready to go.
Ready to go. This swirling, this curse. How does it manifest as it works its way across the battlefield to the creature?
So as I'm calling out, I, in Loreno's mind, just see like the celestial just light and everything, but like the blood and shadows across the ground to just swirl around his feet and build up until it's just like this, it absorbs into him.
Awesome. All right, next up in the order is going to be the Bollywood Veteran, which is going to move halfway through. He's going to pull out his heavy crossbow, and he is going to make an attack on the creature. Where are you here? Heavy crossbow is a +3 and a D10. Okay, cool. and that is a miss. He pulls out this enormous crossbow. He pulls it down. He puts his foot through the iron loop, pulls back the string, raises it, and the bolt careens over the creature's shoulder into the woods. Next up is going to be Yorig.
Is this WS?
That's wild shape. That's me.
Oh, that's you. Okay.
Yeah,
I was wondering.
I'm a wolf.
God damn it.
I entered in as a wolf, yeah.
Oh, you went way too far away from me. Thanks a lot.
Well, just come up here.
Dude, I can't even walk that fast. Yorik's definitely like, this is exactly why I didn't want to go in the woods. So I'm looking left, I'm looking right. I'm like, I'm gonna go hide. Not hide anywhere. I'm just gonna mosey on in the corner over here, reaching into my pockets, looking for anything I possibly can. And I reach a pocket watch. So I toss my pocket watch, wind it up, toss it into or towards that horned creature as much as I can. Let me pop up the spell. Why is it not popping up? There we go. Bam.
That fight music be popping though.
Alright, luckily I could do that. So there's a spell DC save for you, Dave.
All right, gotcha. And what is the saving throw?
That's a ranged spell attack. Chaos Bolt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said it was a saving throw. All right, go ahead. So what is the roll?
Roll for this? Hold on.
Yeah,
I do have to roll for it.
It's your...
Yeah, I don't know why it never rolls it when I actually put it out. I'll just do that +7. There we go.
12.
12, so +7, 19.
That is a definite hit. And it needs to make a saving throw, and which it needs to make a what? Saving throw is this?
There's
Oh,
a save
No,
15
there's
on
no
the
save.
bottom.
On a hit, the target takes 2d8 plus 1d6 damage. Choose one of the d8s. The number rolled on that die determines the attack.
Oh, then
damage.
what's the point of having spell save DC?
yeah, on the bottom. Yeah, I don't know. It was just confusing. All right, go ahead and roll the damage. Damage type.
2d8 plus 2d8, 1d6. Wow. Wow.
Oh wait,
Okay.
but this
All right.
leaps.
Oh, it does leap.
But to nobody.
All right, so you take 5 acid damage.
5 acid damage.
And if I want, I can attack another creature.
Just have it blow like behind them into the wall.
Just for funsies, I want it to blow up the skeleton on its left, just so he gets a little bit more scared and potentially distracted.
Okay, you just see like this arc of acid damage just explode, and the bones, as in midair, you can see them just like kind of sizzling and just like cling, 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 cling. They spread across the battlefield. All right, is that your turn?
No, I'm going to take out my pocket mirror, which during my free time I put a gear onto it so I could constantly spin it.
Okay.
And I'm shining this mirror at Ashley right now. So I'll pull up the thing. Nick knows exactly what I'm doing.
No. Nope. you
This
you
is
got
like
me
your
stumped.
favorite spell. How do you not know this one?
Oh, Sanctuary. Oh, I didn't know that was your device for it. That's awesome.
Well, you need a mirror, so yeah.
All right.
Cool.
So technically, you can't cast 2 spells in a turn. One of them needs to be
That's
a
a
cantrip.
bonus action. Sanctuary is a bonus action.
Now, Chaos Bolt, no, but Chaos Bolt, I know it's a bonus action. The rules as written is 1 spell per turn, unless one of the spells is a cantrip.
Get out.
Don't even...
Oh.
So,
This I
but,
did not know.
yes. Would you like to use your bonus action in a different way?
Next time.
No, I will just hold my mirror in preparation.
I
Gotcha.
appreciate you though. Appreciate
All
the
right.
thought.
At this time, the creature looks down and says, "Rise, my blood minions." and out of the two other skeletons pop these
Yay.
vampiric mists.
Damn it.
See,
Oh.
Wonderful.
at this time, they are going to. Their movement speed is only 30. Okay. One is going to automatically drawn just to the presence of life, which is like it stings. Like to them, you can see just life around them just like hurts for them, and they immediately know the location of this life. So let's see. 50 feet. Okay, so he's gonna move to about here, and he's gonna move up on Bliss, and then Bliss is going to life drain. Touches one creature in its space. Target must succeed on a DC Constitution saving throw. It takes 2d6 plus 3 necrotic damage. Okay.
Constitution saving throw.
Make a Constitution saving throw, please.
13.
Just passes.
Woo.
Okay.
Luck
so, let me
is
see.
in the air.
Yep, maximum is reduced by this. Oh, okay, gotcha. Target hits. Okay, cool. Perfect. So that's their turn. After that, it's going to be Ashta.
Okay, so since you ruled that, I didn't know that. You can cast a cantrip and a regular spell.
Yes, you just can't cast 2 spells in one turn.
Okay, so
Leveled spells.
if it flies, what I would like to try to do is cast as a cantrip minor illusion and make it an illusion of myself. And since we're so far away, it doesn't have to be terribly detailed. And then I would say that during, everyone moving, this thing's not exactly looking at me. I would try to use Yorig's movement to like move behind him in a way that like screens me from the big bad. And
like as he was moving.
yeah,
kind of
like
thing?
I'm just behind him, like slinking, like with his movements.
You
Okay.
realize
Okay.
I'm small, right?
I'm an elf, but so I'm relatively dainty, and a witch doctor, and there's some blockage in between us. So I'm hoping that I'm hidden, and I'm gonna end up in these trees here, and then I'm going to cast mage armor on myself, and that will be my turn.
Okay. Gotcha. Next up is going to be the creature. The creature is going to reach down, press his hand against the ground, and the blood from the blood crystals starts to the light emanating from the blood crystal starts to flash, and you can see the pond begin to shimmer with this like crimson fluid flow up under the ground, up the creature's arm, and just manifest into a scythe. He walks forward, and he's going to attack with the scythe. That is a +5. A miss. He swings with this blood scythe, misses. The veteran dodges out of the way with all of his experience in battle, but the creature reaches down now and goes to take a bite out of him. Which that is definitely a hit. And the bite does 1d6 plus 3. 7 points of damage to the veteran. As you see this bony deer-like head just reach down and just pull a bloody chunk clear out of the veteran's neck. And you can see just the blood gushing out, just hangs in the air and begins to coat this creature, and it seems that he's being nourished by this blood. Next up in the order is going to be Zula.
Okay, question. How deep is this water?
About knee deep.
Okay. Yeah, I could probably. Would you say a wolf could run through this if it's?
I
not
would say so.
Okay. So I am going to run. Yes. Okay. Perfect. I'm going to run right over to the Wendigo right here. And I'm going to bite him, which I also have a advantage on my roll because if I am within 5 feet of a fellow patron, I have pack, so that means that I get advantage.
The pack tactics. All right,
Yeah.
cool. All right, I like it. Go ahead, bite him up.
Okay, so I'm gonna bite. 2. And it's +4. Awesome. Sorry, I gotta do this old school because I don't have the wolf on here. 2 + 4. Okay. Will 16 hit?
16.
Yeah.
A 16 will hit.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, 2d4 + 2 of piercing damage. Awesome. So I am going to bite him, and then he has to do a DC saving throw because if he does not pass, he actually gets knocked prone on top of being bitten.
Okay.
Damn.
So yeah, 2d4.
And what saving throw is that? Strength.
An 11. Yeah, a strength of an 11. 2d4 + 2.
Strength saving throw. Okay. How strong is this thing that I manufactured? Let's see. Strength is +3.
My boy.
My boy.
Alright, awesome. So he gets bit with 4 piercing damage.
Okay, so he takes 2 points of damage. Okay. Okay. And he is knocked prone. He is now he's on his back, flat on his back, as Ashley, you're just mauling him, just tearing away. And through this bite, you're expecting blood, or some sort of like fluid or whatever, some sort of flesh, but everything is dry. It's just like almost like jerky, dusty, and just like matted hair. There's like nothing really like living to it anymore.
Stunning.
Is that your turn?
Awesome.
I was gonna say from this, I would like to just like take a couple steps back so I'm like closer to this frog dude and not like super exposed. But yeah, that ends my turn.
Okay. Next up is gonna be Oren. And before you take your turn, your son pounces your son pops out of your chest and says, "Father, let's strike this thing down a second time."
Yeah.
And doesn't he have advantage because he's not prone?
If melee attacks are made at advantage, ranged attacks are made at disadvantage.
So, Oren is quite shocked, as you can imagine. He's also comforted by the ethereal presence of his son, that he doesn't fully understand, but can tell that he's there with him. And he feels, he's reminded to the times of a child where he taught him to chop wood, and both of his hands go like ice white. He looks at this thing taking power from this lake, and sort of like, without even time to process the grief, his animal mind goes into instinct, and he's going to attempt to cast Shape Water on this pond in order to freeze it. So,
Okay.
you freeze the water provided that there are no creatures in it. Water
Okay.
unfreezes in 1
Dude.
hour.
But how much water? What's the space?
It doesn't really say. It doesn't say space. Oh. Choose an area of water that you can see within range, then it fits within a 5-foot cube. Alright, so that's kind of useless. Well, then, if he can't shape the water, then he's going to. His eyes are going to turn like a bluish white, and then he's just going to use both hands to cast Frostbite towards Wendigo.
Okay. Is that a melee attack or is that?
That would be one of my cantrips.
Gotcha. What's the range on it?
60 feet.
All right, cool. All right, let's do it.
So, frostbite.
Let's make a Constitution saving throw. Is disadvantage the next weapon? Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So, make Constitution saving throw. It's going to have. Let me see what the Constitution is. Con is a +2. Rolled a 5, so it failed.
Damn.
You can see that like it's dry, like almost like in the morning. You've noticed in the morning in the winter, where the snow hasn't fallen, but the dew freezes and it has like that icy sheet on the blades of grass. You can see like his gnarled, matted fur is now just like crunchy, and it's kind of like that, like against the ground, and his joints as he's like trying to reach up are just moving really slow as he's trying to push himself off the ground. And he takes, what was that, 2 points of damage?
Yeah.
2 points of damage. So he takes 2 points of damage. Cool. Okay. All right. Is that your turn?
I'm gonna use my bonus action to, like, if a wolf can run through it, I know Oren can run through this shit, so he's
It
gonna
doesn't
just
require a bonus action. It just requires a movement.
Actually, I'll stay like right here.
Cool. Except
And I would
Bliss.
and I would advise in the next turns to stand clear of this beast.
All right.
You yell that out loud?
Yeah. I guess so. Stand clear.
Awesome. Bliss, you're up.
Man, this is a tough spot. These things innately know where living stuff is.
Yes, they have
So is
life
it like
sense.
if I like move, they're like kind of following, like tracking?
It's just like the same way that the Zorn kind of can track treasure, can like sniff out treasure. These things can sniff out life.
All right. I mean, I'm gonna try to rely on some freaking quickness here and do a pretty sweet somersault roll to try to get to his backside and unsheath my rapier and just slice and dice away.
As you try to like move through this, like it's like a cloud that's just enveloping you. You just reach out and you slash. Go ahead and make your attack roll. 17. That is a definite hit.
Oh, sorry, hold on. Trying to do the damage on it.
Just click just click where it says rapier in the messages.
I did. Did it not go do again?
In the message.
There we go.
There you go.
There you go, 12.
Got it. Yep.
12 points of damage. So it takes 6 points of slashing damage as you slash away at this blood cloud. And even though like you don't make contact or anything, you notice that there's blood on your rapier.
And it feels something substantial, not just like a quick cloud.
It feels like a cloud, but based on what's the residue on your sword, you hit something.
All right. And on my bonus action, I'm going to disengage and run behind that coffin-looking thing and try to hide behind it and take cover after hearing Oren. I know what's coming,
Okay. Cool.
so I'll move that.
All right. Next up in the order is going to be Hope.
All right. So like seeing my options now, seeing these mists kind of come up, Hope definitely looks kind of like darting eye to eye at the Wendigo and then the mist. And I'm gonna spend a spell slot to cast Hex on the mist. So I'll bring that down to 1, and then with it's just a strength check because I know I have to give a ability, right? All right, let me
You're
go.
picking
with
strength?
spells. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna. Can I get? come right there on it, and I'll go in for a short sword attack with my main hand.
You got it.
Does a 22 hit?
Most definitely.
Alright, that is 9 points of piercing damage, but then a 1d6 of force damage, I believe. Right?
Alright, so 9, so he's going to take 5 points of slashing damage, and he's going to take 3 points
Of necrotic, sorry.
necrotic damage.
Yeah.
He takes 3 points of necrotic damage. Alright, is that your turn?
Ends my turn.
The reeling in the pain from this chunk that was just pulled out of his chest and his neck, this veteran, he throws down his crossbow, and he pulls out his longsword, and he's getting ready to make a multi-attack against the downed Wendigo. He's going to pull out his longsword, and that is a +5 to hit, and it is a d10. That is a miss, and that is a hit.
Shit.
He comes down, and it just like it's almost like hitting like a dried, like mummified corpse. It's just like you hear it like cracking, like if it was chopping wood, and it just kind of just like presses it back out of its chest as it takes 4 points of slashing damage. All right, that's that turn. Next up is going to be Jorg.
Knowing what I have to do, Jorg's like a little uneasy. I just gotta get closer and closer to this monster. So I'm gonna go up out to the edged water, reaching in my pockets. I got nothing. So I'm looking at my hands, and I rub some gears together, and here comes a flame where I'm just gonna start hurling at the beast.
Okay, gotcha. All right, go ahead.
Does the 26 hit?
That's definitely a hit.
I'm pretty sure.
God damn.
Well, if it makes you feel better, it does the full damage.
Jorg's like, alright, I got nothing else. And I still have my mirror in my pocket, which is start cranking. And the mirror itself just like starts spinning around pretty quickly. And I'm shining that at. So is Zula the beast right now, or is Zula in the back and she has her beast on
no. So I'm the beast right now. Ignore that.
You are the beast. Okay,
Yeah,
so now I'm still shining the light at you to cast Sanctuary.
I think I just deleted her off the. Let me add it back here. And Zula. Okay, so he was like close to the bottom, anyways. So she goes before Oren, anyways. So, okay, gotcha. All right, so is that your turn? All right. Okay. Next up is going to be the Mists. The Mists are this time equidistant between Oren and Bliss. I'm gonna roll a odd for Oren. He's gonna move up, and he's gonna move over to Loreno. They are going to. I need you each to make a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving throw.
As these mists envelop the area around your bodies.
Fuck.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
Just a bit outside.
And Nick, go ahead and make yours.
Would this count as a melee attack?
It is not an attack.
Damn.
So, all right. So both of you fail the saving throw and take 2d6 plus was it 3 necrotic damage. This one's for Nick Argotsky. This one, and this one is for Oren. You start to notice that, like, your physical, your overall health, like you feel drained, almost like I don't want to use exhausted because I don't want to confuse you guys with a condition, but you feel exhausted, as if like your overall, health meter has been reduced by 8. Okay. Next up in the order is going to be Kashta Naganga.
Okay, so I realized I probably made a mistake, and I casted a cantrip, and it's not a bonus action. It takes up an action, so like I don't know if that's allowed or not.
Listen, if we'll roll with the punches. It happened. It happened.
Okay, well it happened, but it can't happen going forward unless it's a bonus action. Is what I'm looking for a clarification. So it cannot happen.
So if casting it anything other than what its casting time is, no.
Okay.
Its casting time is an action. You have to use an action for it.
Okay. Well, it happened. All right. So I also had a quick question on what happens if a creature is charmed. Like, do you have power over it? Does it just not attack you? I'm not sure of the ruling.
Typically, it's
Depends on
outlined
the
in the. Depends on what kind of charm it is.
If it's charmed by me.
It usually means that it's overall, it's friendly or non-hostile until it takes damage from you or an ally.
Ooh. Okay. Then, from my spot in the shadows, hopefully masked by Yorig's man scent or gnome scent, I would cast I would dispel one of my mind vapor die and cast mind vapor. It is a 14 hit on the big bad, the Wendigo.
Yes, it hits.
Okay, and then I would use the mind vapor save and force it to make a wisdom, not a wisdom. I'm sorry, a Constitution saving throw.
A Constitution saving throw.
Constitution.
Gotcha. A 5.
That does not pass. So, mind vapor saves. Constitution. Target creature doubles over in pain, becoming paralyzed.
Damn.
Yes.
Give
For how
this
long?
thing- It doesn't say. It does
What
not
is
say.
Probably a
what is
minute.
the effect on the? What is? It's probably the until the end of your turn. What is the mind vapor like the?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Following effects last until end of your next turn. Yep.
So.
I don't know. Might as well get handicap parking. It's paralyzed.
Jesus.
So you can see this thing like the frost like overtaking it, and now like it's trying to move and break through the frost. Its arm just like cracks that's holding the sickle, and the sickle just like falls down to the ground, and the blood just like leaves the sickle and just starts spreading across the ground. The rest of the Wendigo is just laying there and just frozen and just like convulsing and twitching, just trying with everything in its power to just stand up against the weight of itself, and it can't even move its jaw to speak or taunt you. Is that your turn?
That concludes my turn.
Okay.
That's
Next
pretty
is the Wendigo. The Wendigo is currently paralyzed. That is its turn. Next up is Zula.
Okay, I would like to take my wolf.
Am I up? Am I up yet?
No, because when he took away my token, it like put me
Alright.
behind you. But
Right, I'm a natural
above
one.
you.
Shit,
Yeah.
forgot.
So what I would like to do is I would like to take my wolf shape or keep my wolf shape, and I would like to bite the Wendigo one more time in whatever part that is not fully frosted over. So it really, it's hard.
But you get the attack of advantage.
And then I would stand clear for my turn.
Oh, trust me, I have plans. I have plans.
Okay, good.
Yes.
No repeats of my
Absolutely.
memory.
Yes.
Still an awesome moment, though.
Okay, so
What
17 or
is
an
this
18.
power?
Will hit.
Will hit, awesome. So
Irritating.
I am going to do the 2d4 plus 2, and then of course he like won't get knocked prone because he already is. 4, 2. Oh, he get 9. So I bite him with the 9. I'm hoping it's like a nice meaty neck bite.
So he takes 5 points of damage, piercing
Hell yeah.
damage, as you sink into the this mummified flesh, this dried flesh of the Wendigo, and it's still just shaking, convulsing, and twitching, and it's trying to break free of all the little the ice, the fractals that are binding it to the ground in conjunction with the paralysis that was imposed on it.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah, so then I would like to move my character out of the water kind of over here. And then I want to take my bonus action to wild shape right back into Zula.
Okay.
So let me pull her out. So I am... Oh. That is a bonus action, right? Or can I just wild shape out of Zula?
I think it's a bonus action. I gotta double check.
Okay.
That's fine. That's fine.
Oh, no, because I was going to say, if it's not, I do have a bonus action if I can use it, but I just wanted to double check if that's a bonus action or if
I
that's
think
something.
you can switch back and forth as I think it's an action to switch, and then I think it's a bonus action to switch back.
To switch out?
I could
Okay.
be wrong, but we'll check it after.
Okay, can you actually pull, yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna, you delete my wild shape, it won't let me delete it, but I am Zula again, and then, yep, I have plans for her once, this is next my turn. Okay, that's
Next
it.
up is Oren.
So with everyone at a safe distance except for the frog dude, who, I'm sorry, but he's probably gonna get ganked. I'm just like, everyone get back!
I kind of figured something was going down.
And, there's this moment of quiet before you hear on my hand, like, and all these, like, stalactites of pure frost, like the coldest, like, negative 1,000 degrees, just, like, start forming. And I just, like, scream, like, ah! And I just blast Ice Knife right on this mamma jamma. And
Okay.
we'll just see where it goes from there.
So that's a ranged spell.
As the scientific one in the party, can we get a unit for negative 1,000 degrees? Is that
It's
is
in
that
it's in
Celsius or
it's in Kelvin.
Fahrenheit?
It's in Kelvin.
Okay, so Kelvin doesn't go to negative 1,000.
No,
Thank you.
I bet it doesn't.
Oh my god.
It's colder than dry ice, okay? No.
And anywho, so seeing as that advantages against paralyzed targets, attacks against paralyzed targets are at advantage, and that he's prone, so it's a disadvantage. This would be just a regular attack. It wouldn't be at advantage or disadvantage. So make a ranged spell. So make your ranged spell attack. It just hits.
You have a bonus on that, Nick?
Do you
I
have a
do.
bonus?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my spell attack bonus is 6.
Okay. There we go. So it'd be definitely a 19. That would definitely hit. All right. All right. So now it takes what, 1d10 piercing damage, and then it explodes and takes another 2d6.
2d6.
Yep.
Okay.
So roll 1d10 and then 2d6.
Nice.
Okay, so it takes 4 piercing damage.
Nice all around damage. That's 19.
And then 19 total for cold?
No, sorry. 11 total for cold.
Okay, 11.
No, it's 19 though.
Okay.
No. Sure. It's,
Okay.
here
You
it
can
goes.
see just this blast. Okay, let me put that in the veteran real quick so I don't lose that.
Oof.
Veteran was 11 cold damage.
He would have to make a dex save.
Sorry, bro.
Dex.
Would it do extra damage since he's in water and a frog?
He
creature?
passes the saving throw.
So-
He passes the.
Actually, sorry.
Oh, so
Yeah,
even
so
cooler.
It completely misses him.
That's even
Actually,
cooler because don't like frogs freeze in the winter and then they're like
Oh, yeah.
rejuvenated?
And they're fine. Yeah, they have like the proteins in their blood. So he just leaps out of the way, like just jumps out of the way of this blast of ice, and this Wendigo creature, you can see, just stop shaking, just and just dissolve into dust, like it was almost isn't there, leaving
Yes.
only the skull and the branching these twisted like bramble antlers. And in response to that, as it dies, both of these vampiric spirits, they dart across the water. Oren, you can make an opportunity attack, and Loreno, you can make an opportunity attack.
Hell yeah, brother.
I go for another cantrip, and I
Has to
do-
be a melee, has to be a weapon
okay.
attack.
A
Okay,
16.
sure. So then I take out my
16
hand
will hit.
axe, and I just
Because this
uh,
one is hex, do I get hex damage on it, right?
oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, so 7 and then plus
Bruh.
2,
Right,
so 9 total.
Four,
I
and
think
then
it's all
two more.
resisted.
No, the okay. So it continues to dart, and I need Nick. I need you to roll your attack roll with your axe. Okay, so it was not at advantage. A 13 just hits.
that's what
Then
I'm
just,
talking about.
just click hand
Yeah.
axe.
Yeah, just like I'm swatting away a fly, just like so many flies.
Just click on the hand axe.
In the,
Yeah, I did.
Like
I just did.
in the
In the chat, yeah, click on hand axe because I know
for the damage.
damage.
There you go.
It takes 2 slashing damage as it wisps around, surrounds the Wendigo, and kind of like reforms its body and into just like this incorporeal this new form where it's just the skull, the top part of the skull with the bramble antlers, and the lower portion is just like this deep black shadow. And he says, "Until we meet again, I'll have your bodies and your blood." They just dart off into the woods, just like moves away. At that point, the spirit of Eric pokes out and says, "Father, I don't have much time to explain. That night, when you came and looked for me in the deep in the valley, you were attacked by this creature. You thought you were tracking an owl bear, the same that I was sent out to attack and bring back to the local lord. However, as it made its final death blow against you, creating a deep scar on your face, it leapt from the shadows and took the devastating final blow that was intended for you. I suppose that the love that we share for one another, and the innate cold magic of these lands, bound what's left of my soul to yours, giving you your newfound power. Now, Father, I don't know how to say this, but I must be going now. I love you more than you can expect a son to love his father. You're my hero. I always strove to be half the man you were. I'll see you later in the other life, my father. You will. And use this power to quell all remaining evil from our home. I love you. And he just disappears.
Damn.
I fall on my knees, and I reach out my hand, grasping for something that I'll never get back again. And all the frost just goes from my hand, and I'm just devastated.
That is a rather intimate conversation that Bliss does not feel comfortable hearing or knowing about you guys because I don't know how to comfort you. So I'm gonna inspect this coffin to see if there's anything inside it.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
Just a big pile of gold on the ground.
I see that. That's obvious.
Fair.
um,
As far as you can tell, it's open. Whatever was in there, there's little tattered bits of clothing and dust. It appears that at one point there was an occupied coffin, but no longer.
I want to go over while everyone's kind of like investigating. Go over to our character Nick. Why am I not Oren? Sorry. Go over to Oren and try to comfort him as much as possible, and put my big sloth's arms around you, and like kind of like bury you like a mother would to as a child, and try to like comfort you as much as possible. With no words, just.
That was awesome. In the spite of that awesomeness, I'm gonna have to put aside saying anything to Oren at the moment. He can just have his time to grieve. But what I'm interested in is checking out these crystals. So I would like to make an investigation check on the crystal.
I'll give you a choice between history, or Arcana, or religion.
I'd like to investigate the pentagram.
That will also be a religion. Or
I'd like to help out Kasha because these crystals are something I've never seen before and super interested in.
So
Okay,
I
gotcha.
can roll that with advantage.
If Jorg is proficient in religion. All right.
Shit.
Okay. Gotcha. So 20.
Am I
Okay.
proficient in religion?
And then Hope, you rolled a 5. So start with Kashta. Kashta, you does it count the 20, or is he proficient in religion or no?
I don't know.
Or are you proficient?
Oh, I
in
am.
religion?
Yes.
I know you are, but in order to get Jorg, are you proficient?
Well, I'm not proficient. I'm a +5.
Oh, okay, so I would say that you wouldn't get advantage on the check.
Okay.
But okay, starting with Kashta, you see that it's somehow tied to whatever this creature's power was. That whether it's magic or some sort of life force, there's something within these crystals that was able to be siphoned away or stored in here. But you're unable to determine what it is at this time. As for Hope, you walk over to the pentagram and you see that this pentagram is just been painted over and over with blood, where like the grass, the dead grass of that area has just been stained. Like the earth in that area has been stained in the shape of this pentagram. It's not a known. You're not 100% sure the origin or the which what the purpose of it is, or if it's tied to any sort of cult or faction or anything like that. The only thing you notice is the severed arm of the Wendigo is still resting on the ground next to the pentagram, and the pentagram is just this dried sigil of what can be assumed to be blood.
I want to pick up the Wendigo arm.
Okay. So as you go to pick up the Wendigo arm, it's like crunchy. It's like you went to touch it, but it's like fragile. Like you're trying to pick it up to keep it in one piece, but as you start to lift it up, it just starts to crumble and the scythe falls to the ground.
I want to then look over at Oren, look over at the scythe, and I want to kick through one of the outer lines of this circle to break it.
Okay. You notice that the already faded circle, just even more so, just as if the blood just was somewhat fresh, but now it just immediately just like coagulates and it's dry and it's flaky and it's like almost like it's part of the earth and it's like very faint now.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Like it's been used on.
I'd like to take some of the crystal samples for clock making,
Same.
if they can be pulled out of the clock or pulled out of the earth.
Okay. Do you have any sort of tools like that might akin to like
Smith
a hammer?
tools, carpenter tools.
Okay. If you're proficient in either of them, try to use them. But it's going to be a high DC just because you're trying to break a crystal.
You know with Smith.
I'm using my carpenter tools because that's the only thing I'm proficient in.
Okay.
Go
Go ahead and make a roll D20 and then add your proficiency bonus to it.
Dylan. So I'm taking my wooden mallet to this crystal, and my handle just breaks right off.
Okay. So you can.
And I'm working on the ground, and I know what to do. And I start to cast my mending spell.
And you mend the hammer. Okay.
I
Awesome.
would
Now,
I would
blow
say
up the hammer.
as he's doing this, I would take a totally different approach and just look for a small enough piece on the ground to put in my pocket.
Okay, the smallest piece that you can find is about yay big. It's about the size of a football, and it weighs, make it an even number, 25 pounds.
Okay. Who's the smith we know?
Hey.
Okay, you're the smith. Awesome. So I would just turn to Jorg and be like, perhaps we could have our friend Hope make this into 2 halves, maybe. Hey, would you like a half? A peace offering.
Peace offering. We've always been friends.
Maybe in your feeble little mind, but not in mine. This is how I would like to become friends, though.
I can make some very intricate clockwork out of this. So yes, Hope.
Okay, and then
Gesturing Hope over.
you said the Wendigo skull was also
No, it's gone.
Okay.
Those two like mists like formed like the shadow body with just the Wendigo skull, and just like wisped off.
okay, it wisped off. And there's no pieces of the Wendigo body left. They're
It's just a
all
pile of
gone.
dust where the hand was, because Hope went to pick it up, and Hope, I believe, is still holding the sickle.
I didn't touch the sickle. I was just kicking. I was kicking the dirt. Right.
Okay,
right around
gotcha.
the,
Okay, so the sickle's still on the. Okay, so the sickle's still on the.
Okay. So then I guess I would walk over to the pentagram and take the skull of the pentagrammed thing, the skeleton.
Okay.
I would take just the skull.
Okay. 2 pounds.
Okay.
Who got hit during this battle? Hope and Bliss?
Yep. Your
I
boy.
didn't get hit.
What?
I didn't get hit.
Oh, only Hope?
Yep.
Okay. So cool. So while I am comforting Oren with like no words and we're just sitting there, I want to whisper and perform healing word because I can see you within 60 feet. And how I'm going to bring it to you is I am actually going to come up with a druid craft, and I'm going to spread it by falling leaves. And I'm going to send the leaves over to you. So that, because Oren is just so sad, I don't want to like really say anything, so I kind of whisper it, and then I just like, and then like leaves kind of come out of my hand like a gust of wind to Oren.
What spell is this?
So I'm doing healing word with a cantrip of druidcraft just for finesse.
You notice that your healing magic is taking no effect.
No effect on his. I didn't even roll yet.
Damn.
Okay.
Dave,
Okay.
correct me if I'm wrong, but the 2 red mist things that appeared from the skeletons, there would have been 3 if Jorg didn't bounce that fire thing on the 3rd one.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to separate all of the bones of the 2 remaining skeletons as far as possible because I don't know if we're gonna revisit this space. So I'm gonna spend some time just
Yeah.
scattering
No.
and deboning these
Immediately.
skeletons.
Gotcha.
Immediately, while that's happening, I sort of like compose myself a little bit, and I start walking over. Now, should I assume? Actually, before I even walk over, is this my son right here in this pentagram circle? Or is this just like some
Oh,
other dude?
it's not, as far as you can tell, it's another body.
Well, then I get up, and I just compose myself. No words are spoken.
With the healing
So
word
basically,
that's
I was gonna say,
Zula.
so do I just send over like leaves and it just hits him with leaves in his
Yeah,
face?
I mean, you expend your spell slot. Can
Well,
you cast the spell?
Because correct me if I'm wrong, Dave. The way it works is the spell is consumed. You do what you want to do. It's just nothing happens.
Exactly.
Except you get paper cuts from the leaves.
Exactly. Perfect. 1d4
Well, would my,
Razor
I was
leaf.
gonna say, would my druid craft even work then?
That
Just to
works.
me,
But,
or
no,
just to
but
someone
the two
else?
the two people that were injured by the mist cannot recover hit points.
Fudge.
Oh.
So with that, I kind of like look over at Zula and I just like give a good nod. I don't think I'd say that. Give a nod and then walk over to Jorg and Kasha.
Okay.
So, what do you need?
Hope. This crystal, it broke my hammer, and I just needed some pieces to make enough for fancy clockwork. Kashta needs some too.
Your
This
hammer.
piece.
I've taught you 1,000 times the difference between a mallet and a hammer. We've gone through this, Jorg.
Again, they both hit things. They're the same.
They're not the same. One's used for irons and metals, and the other one's used for woodcrafting and, putting things together.
Well, this is a crystal.
Yeah, thank you, Jorg. Yeah, and
While this is
I
happening-
do crack a smile. I'm just like, you always know how to make a dark mood light.
I have found this piece. It is too big for me to carry around all the time. I was wondering if you could make it into some smaller pieces for me and the gnome.
Let me take a look through my pack that the guildmaster gave me, and I'll see what I can do. So I'd like to use my smith's tools to make a check. What abilities attached to this?
So there's no ability on it. You're just adding your proficiency bonus to the roll.
Oh, so it's a flat roll with just the proficiency? Okay.
You're using your tools, right?
Yeah. Okay. So my proficiency should be a +2. So that is a d20 plus dose. Boo!
It on the as far as you can tell, this is nigh indestructible. Oops. Based on your attempts so far. There's no scratch, there's no dents, there's no imperfections. The mallet did nothing, the smith tools did nothing. You just have a solid hunk of this crystal.
So just to,
And Nick,
I was gonna say just to have some fun with this, cause I'm a very prominent smith, and so I'm looking. I'm like, the first hammer hit, I hit it and it doesn't go through. I'm like, huh. Look up at you guys. I was like, one more. But, these are the best tools, not what I'm used to working with.
Well, maybe I can help you with a little redemption. I've seemed to come across another matter that I could use a smith for. And I take out the silver stake from a couple episodes back and my quarterstaff. Is there any way you could mold this into one weapon for me?
I mean, I'd look towards Jorg and be like, he's the tinkerer. But I could see
But
if
you
he
are the
could use-
smith.
That's true.
Maybe both of you could help me together.
Like
Help
old
make us
times.
a weapon to get us out of this woods.
I just looked down at Jorg and just nod. Like old times.
Better than fixing things.
Please don't burn my quarterstaff.
Poor Alice.
How would we go about doing this right now with a check, Dave?
I would say like to prep this would require over something at the
Oh,
minimum
like a long rest.
a long rest.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
To sit
I
down,
guess.
lay out the tools, things like that.
Yeah, I would just put it on your radar. Like, oh, well, I challenge you to do this. Like, a simpler task than breaking the nigh indestructible crystal.
Aye.
And in return, if you want a piece of the crystal, you can have it. And Yorig, as payment, you will also receive your half. Because I don't need the whole thing. I just have an idea. I'm just going to try to keep upgrading this quarterstaff. And maybe Dave, since we had the discussion about magic items,
We'll figure it out. We'll have
Yeah.
a side discussion.
we could just
So,
constantly...
I want to make a clock out of these crystals.
Gotcha. So Nick, you wanted real quick. Nick, you wanted to say something, Palmer?
You know, while this cheeky, light-hearted conversation is happening, Oren's just gonna like pace to the edge of the woods and just sort of stare. He's just gonna stare into the woods. That's it.
Okay.
I did have.
Ash.
Oh, I was gonna say I was just gonna seeing how Oren probably just needs some like time to himself. I don't want to like overbear him. So I want to just mosey on over and see how much coins we have over here.
Okay. So, as you're sitting down, you have approximately. This will be copper. Number in copper. 69 giggity.
Gee, nice.
Nice.
This
420.
this will be your silver.
It'd be great if it was $420.69. That would be beautiful.
Silver and 13 gold.
Nice.
So, I'm not sure if this is tied to anything around here, but I still do have this. I pull out the vial of the blood, or the ichor, or the red fluid, and something.
From the Yavis brothers' tomb.
Now you have like this. So you're holding the vial, and the vial is just like tilting. Like if you're holding it in your hand, like this. Like if this is the vial, it's kind of like shaking and like moving towards like the blood crystals. It's kind of like
Wow. So, yeah, I'm just gonna hold it and say that blood runs thick, and that pentagram there. I'm not thinking this has something to do with it, or we could learn something there.
Yeah. I'm proficient.
I'd like to think that gosh just goes, yeah.
Yeah. I'm also proficient in religion, so maybe if we are granted another religion check, we could study these crystals.
I'm gonna
further.
give you guys as a group, because you guys made a bunch of checks before we start moving on, right? Right? Because we can sit here all day and make checks about everything.
No doubt.
I'll give you guys as a group. I'll give you 2 more checks as a group.
So that is a potential avenue, and being a witch doctor, I'm sure that I'm very familiar with blood magic. Highly interested in this and what these crystals can do, especially if we're going to take a sample back. I don't want it to be detrimental to the party's health, like carrying around a potential artifact that this Wendigo can sprout from at any time.
Does anyone have another positive religion check or proficient so that they could give Asha advantage?
I'm pretty profish,
In religion?
but you know what? Hope actually might be the better option here.
I'm not proficient.
I'm not
one bit.
Proficient in history. That's
Yeah, I was
related.
gonna say I'm history, not
Okay.
religion.
So, knowing that you are a
Gosh,
man,
has to go console Oren.
Yeah. I would like to do that anyway. If we have time, if you guys are cool
Yeah,
with
go
chilling
for
in
it.
the
Yeah.
area
Oh, yeah.
for a
I'm
little bit.
excited for this.
Yeah.
Okay, so having the sample, that big football size crystal, I would just walk over there, but I wouldn't lead with that, obviously. All right, so I would mosey on over to
Please
Oren.
Role play this. This is
Yes.
some heavy acting right
Yes. Woodsman, I see that you are hurting deep in your soul. Do you have any words to the feelings that you have at the moment? I care to hear them.
now. I've only ever lived for my son. He's meant the world to me. When my wife left, it's all I had left. Now I will never have him again. Except in my dreams. And in my heart. I take comfort in knowing he is with the gods now. But my heart still aches for his loss.
Can see into many different planes. And I look into you, and your son resides within you, inside of your heart. Not only is he within the gods, he is within you. This is where your power stems from. And maybe in some time when you are ready, I can help you reach your son. We just have to make a contract with a being from another plane. It requires a little bit of your blood, or some of your magic essence. It is a limited time thing. It is a new power I am getting into. But when you are ready, you come see Kashta, and he will take good care of you and help you get reacquainted with your son.
So, normally as a very pious man, this would offend me, but having just lost my son, on the edge of hopelessness and desperation, I very gently look up to you. For the first time, I see you as a true equal, and I just say thank you, Costa, for
Now,
everything.
I appreciate this. I have some more questions for you. This blight that your son has charged you with clearing from your home is not gone yet. It resides all around us in these crystals. This area is poisoned. And I would like to see if you could help me discover a little more about this. And I would pull out the crystalline sample.
Okay.
So I make a religion check, right? I just press religion. Blip.
So whoever makes the check,
What's your proficiency?
if
Mine's
My
plus
profi-
5.
I have a check mark and a +2.
I have a
So-
check mark and a plus 5.
so you can give whoever wants to make the check. I mean, it doesn't matter, but the check is going to be made at an advantage.
Okay. So, Oren, you have a small idol, wood carved of your god, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I would just start setting up, like, brew a small thing in my cauldron to make contact with the astral plane. May I have the idol of your god? He should preside over this as well. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! This is why I love Nick Palmer.
He reaches into his coat and he grabs a small wooden idol out of his coat pocket. And he looks at it because he knows that he carved this effigy on her helm, the shield that guards the world. But he sees it now as his son. And he just goes, and he just hands it over to you.
I would, as you're handing it over, grab your hand and the idol, so we're holding hands with the idol. And
Damn, dude.
the potion I prepped in my cauldron, I would take a sip of and then offer it to you. With the help of Helm and others from different planes, hopefully the gods will be with us. And prompt you to take a drink. We gonna trip.
Yeah,
A little bit.
dude. We gonna get a little silly. Okay.
Yeah, I've done drugs with 2 people out of this party so far, so
Dude, you're expanding a lot of consciousnesses. Okay.
yeah.
So it's like it's like a bowl, right?
It's a skull. A skull
Oh,
of my
fuck
dead
yeah.
lover.
Oh,
Orc
Jesus
skull.
Christ.
All right,
It's
and you know what we're gonna do?
I have a skull.
We're going to break right now before we get into that thing.
Right, literally as I sip, we gonna take a break.
All right, and it'll be we'll be back at 10:01. It's a 10-minute break, Eastern Standard Time. See you guys in 10 minutes.
All right.
All right, welcome back. Thank you for hanging out with us. So Oren's about to take the sip from the improvised skull cauldron of Kashta Nananga. Go ahead, guys.
Oh yeah.
So, I'd be hard sipping. What happens? I literally just take like one sip, like a cautious one, and then I pause, and then I take like another bigger sip. So.
Okay. So the best way that I'm gonna describe this is like this way. This is the way I wanted my psychedelics to be. Was like Scarecrow from Batman.
Oh,
You know how like
dude.
yeah, right, but it's not gonna be scary. But like that's like the visual. Like you're seeing things that aren't there, and you kind of know they're not there, but they're so real. So whatever you see is up to you, because it's your brain, right? Your
Wow.
psychedelics are psychedelic, and same with me. And we're gonna pray. I'm going to put out a message on all of the astral planes that I can connect with my power, and I'm assuming you would pray to Helm.
I would pray to Helm, but everything, like just as there's these red crystals that you see in the lake, like around me, everything starts to like look frosty, and like everything looks like barren, even more barren than it already is, and like there's this weird, trippy atmosphere. So like like I'm trying to like, and then I just like hone right back in to like a very disoriented self, but it's like I'm within and without, and I'm going to let you lead this session.
Yeah,
This,
I will
this
be
trip.
the sense of warmth in your freezing trippies, your anchor, your fire, if you will. And then I guess we'll just make a religion check at advantage.
Yes.
I also enjoyed The Great Gatsby. Within and without.
Oh yes, yes, that's exactly it.
How did you guys do?
Damn son.
A 20. All right.
That'll do.
I'll do for sure.
I'll do
What are you
too.
trying to discern from this?
Everything we possibly can to the magical properties of said crystal, if it is stored power from the Wendigo, or if it is the essence of the Wendigo, if it can be used as a portal, if it's a sentient object, what else? Yeah, basically, what is this thing, and what does it do?
This is a very rare type of crystal known as a blood crystal. They're used as magical conduits by vampires and other blood-sucking folk. Essentially, it's used in the creation of empiric magic items that drain life or drain health from opponents and things like that. It essentially, life energy can be stored within these crystals, and it can be released to it basically siphon life from a target, or it can be used to life back into a target. So they're not sentient, they're not any sort of portal or anything like that. They're just simply used as like life transference, like a bank almost.
this is awesome. Yeah.
For several reasons.
Oh, for so many reasons, especially the reasons of what I would like to do with these. Yeah, so I would just say we're vibing out. I don't know if you want to role play anything.
What Oren would be hearing is my child's laughter when he was very young, and I'd let him run around in the yard. So like I'm hearing that, and I'm saying, Eric, like he's still there, and you're just like watching this because you're a more experienced tripper than I am. You're just sort of watching this happen, and I sort of like come back in, and I'm like, can he tell you anything else about where he is and what I have now?
Should try to touch the magic while we are in this state. Maybe Eric will reveal himself to you. And then, I don't know, cast a spell, make your hand all icy or something. You know, use the power that is Eric while we're tripping. See what happens. Sure, there will be a god who answers.
So like I just sort of like my hand starts to go like icy, like how it does, and it just sort of creeps up my shoulder like that. I mean, I don't want to cast anything right now, but
Yeah,
like,
but you touch the magic, like
right.
like right before, you know, like I don't know. I'm assuming when you cast magic, you have to like make the connection before you're not just like magic.
Right.
Like yeah, link it up.
Well, see, I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss.
As you touch this assist, Kashta, and your mind is thrown through various planes of existence, and you're seeing all this, and your mind is being filled with information about these crystals, and your intent, along with your thoughts, your intentions, and your motives, and your alignment is also thrust through these planes, and you can feel on the ground that around you on the ground are little like oak saplings just beginning to sprout. It appears to be some sort of positive sign from Maliki. She has heard you.
Nice. And I look down in this trip that I'm having as an old experienced lumberer, knowing fresh saplings as they grow, and I just feel a leaf. And I smile. And I just bask in the moment a little longer, and then I'm sort of back to wherever I am.
You see, life can grow out of dead places. And even though you have lost your son, there is life in you yet, Oren. You should embrace this. You're a new sapling. The old withered oak is gone and dead. Be new, Oren.
I sort of just like, and like my eyes are still wide, and I sort of just like stumble out. And all I do is I look down at my hands.
Nice.
And I'm ready. Like literally I grab my hand axe, and we all congregate together, hopefully, and we devise our plan, dude.
I like that. So, what is the rest of the party doing?
Well, I was gonna say, while you guys are having your fun trip over there, I have a question. Do we see like these saplings? Because they're kind of close enough. Do we see these saplings growing?
Yeah, they're like these little, like
Okay.
3 or 4 inch like saplings. They're just slowly kind of just growing out of the ground.
Okay, so just like as a druid, I'm extremely fascinated just like watching them trip and seeing these saplings grow out of the ground. And I like I start getting down closer to the ground and just kind of feeling it and seeing like what kind of soil it is. Is it something that a sapling like would kind of grow here? And then I look up and something kind of catches my eye over where the Wendigo was.
Okay.
And so I want to go over and check it out.
Okay, so you walk over to the broken
Yeah.
broken pentagram, and you notice like the Bullywug veteran is sitting there, and he's kind of like nursing his wounds. He's like wrapping himself up, and to the right, off centered of the pentagram, you notice that there's this like dark sickle. It's like a single-handed sickle that was being held by the Wendigo, just resting on the ground.
Can I go pick up the sickle?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I go and I head over because I was just like feeling the soil, and like that must have kind of caught my eye while I was like kind of looking at the toad a little bit, it reflected with its armor, and so I just want to kind of pick it up and see like what it's about.
Okay. So, you pick it up, and you can feel that there's some sort of energy resonating from within this sickle. It's silvered, and it's in the shape of a crescent moon. And the handle, like if you have the handle, there's a spike that comes out of the handle, and then the crescent moon starts halfway through. It's almost like a cross through the crescent moon.
Oh shit. Okay, cool. So I kind of want to hold on to the sickle because I resonate with it with the moon symbol. And
So at this time, the veteran says, and I'm gonna keep the bullywug voice down. Like I'm trying to avoid that because it destroyed my throat last time. But he basically says, "Would you all hurry up? It's time to leave. Our prize is not here. Emeth will not be pleased."
I think the dinner is talking to us.
That's quite amusing, witch doctor. There's a reason why the other one of your kind amongst my people fears me so. Would hold your tongue, elf.
Just tripping balls. Still, my only response would be salivating. I would just be hungry.
Okay.
I need nourishment.
Now, let's get back. I'm sure the group wants to know what happened here. We must prepare our defenses against Hemeth. And before you awoke, as I was pleading my case to go and hunt down this foul creature, came to an agreement, the witch doctor and I. Present you all with several gifts. If you would follow me back to camp, we'll give you those gifts. If not, you're on your own. I'm leaving. You can see him kind of like slosh through the water and start walking back towards the door.
Well,
Oren, in a newfound
So I guess, like,
situation, wants to join his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd look towards the door, and be like, "This Hemeth needs to go. Let's go prepare."
George's like walking at least 10 steps ahead of you because he's been waiting to leave this entire time. But he hears the yeah.
Let's go.
So, you guys walk back through. You follow Rip It back through the swamp. Over a few hours, you make it back to the camp, just for that late evening. It's that late evening.
Once we get back to that door, all that gold and rubies that I made in a pile, I just want to make it a point that I pick that back up.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah. And we have.
I don't want you to skip over that.
I swear I didn't skip.
Somebody wrote
Who's
all that
keeping
down,
count
right?
of all the treasure, by the way?
How are you taking that back?
What, the sapphires?
The treasure.
The one that I piled up by the door.
Yeah, but there was like, what was it,
Yeah,
like 200
64.
pounds of.
Yeah, that's why I was asking what the most important stuff was, how much sapphires there were and gold, because I wanted to take the majority of the sapphires.
Yeah.
So I think it was like rubies. I think it was
Yeah.
Oh,
rubies.
rubies.
So
Yeah.
we can. I
Rubies.
think we can go back through the chat log and.
I don't think you wrote it down, but
It
I read it. Hold on.
was.
Let me grab my notebook.
I thought someone
I know.
wrote it down. I knew it was in the chat log.
Well, that's on you guys if you don't keep a record of your treasure. That's not on me. So.
I'll go
That's you
through it and
guys.
figure it out.
Is it?
So
I think it's in the chat still.
I think it's 156 gold. It was like 100 silver, 34 copper, and 2 rubies.
That looks about right. Also,
Yeah, that's what I'm going through.
I know, I know 69 was one of the numbers.
that was
So,
That
how,
was
that.
so we're not carrying all the
alright,
treasure
so
back.
how much?
No. I
It
didn't
was.
write
I'm
it
scrolling
down.
back through. It's 156 gold pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is 15 pounds of gold.
Yep.
We have 10 pounds of silver, so 100 pieces of silver. And then we have 34 copper, which is 3.5 pounds of copper.
Can't.
And then 2 rubies, which are together, I'll call them like half a pound.
We
I'm
can't
just
just
gonna track
all
the
like,
okay,
golden
so
rubies
Yeah.
because
I
I
was
can
gonna say-
carry 17 pounds. I can do that.
I was gonna say, how about the gold and copper and silver that we just had at the place too?
I could carry the silver.
How big of a wolf do you turn into, Sloss, Zula?
Not intensely. And
I could build a sled, and I could have you as our Iditarod Balto.
We
Situation.
don't need it all. Predominantly, just having the 156 gold is going to be more sufficient
we
than
do.
everything
more
else.
than
No.
enough, yeah. How about
I said,
would say, do we just wanna-
I said I could grab the silver. It's 10 pounds.
well, we also have 13 gold here, so do you want me to grab the 13 gold here so we can just
That's
keep
like
the gold
that's a
and-
pound. That's a pound and a third of gold.
Okay.
All right, we're good. We're caught up.
All right, cool. All right, so you make it back through the wilderness. It's not quite to the point where the sun's starting to set, but it's getting to the point that like that supper time. And you can see the bullywugs as you get back to the camp. All the families are out. They've scraped together whatever little rodents and vermin and other little like snakes and things that they can find amongst the swamp. They're cooking them. They're roasting big gourds and cooking their foods in it. And you guys, where is it?
Swamp supper, my favorite.
The veteran. At this point, the most of the way through the trip, the potion that he was given wore off. So it was pretty much a silent trip. You weren't able to really communicate with the Bullywug veteran Rippet. However, he leads you back successfully, and back to Chief Ababu, and they're conversing back and forth. And you can see just Babu's like head, just like he's thankful that you made it back, but he, like his head, like his shoulders just relax, and he lets out a breath of despair, knowing that Hemoth is not going to be pleased that these captives that they were supposed to bring back are no longer alive. And Ababu kind of shakes his head and he says something back to the veteran, and the veteran kind of just like his knuckles go white, and he just like throws down his sword and he like puts his finger in his chest, and you can see like they're about like to the point where he comes to blows. He pushes his face and storms off. Ababu walks up to you, and he takes off his cloak, and he walks up to Kashta, and he comes over and he takes his cloak, right, and he just throws it over your back, right. Now, immediately at this point, right, you can start to understand him, right, and you're looking down at this cloak, and it's like wet and damp, and just like it's kind of has that like foul, like musty smell to it. And you can see that there are these patches that are woven into the cloak itself of frogs, like various, larger frogs, smaller frogs, things like that. So Chief of Babu begins to speak to you now that you're able to communicate, and he says, "This is the cloak of the Bullywugs. This has been a treasure of ours that's been passed down from our ancestors when most Bullywugs were able to cast magic, and this is for you. Use this wisely. Um, it allows you to basically speak right, understand Bullywug and Grung, and he explains to you that these patches, although limited, right, and I'll tell you how many patches you have.
Bruh.
Well, let me get all the way down there. Maximize 9 patches of giant frogs. And he explains to you in a not, metagame, kind of fashion. But you have these patches of giant frogs which you can tear from the cloak as an action and throw them, and they manifest into a giant frog. And these giant frogs last for 1 minute before they disappear. And once you exhaust the last patch, it just becomes a mundane cloak. Now, he gives that to you. I'm going to put that in your... into your... Where is it?
Dude,
Is it in here? Yep, here we go.
that's awesome.
He gives that to Kashta.
Giant frogs, do your bidding.
And I can speak Bullywug and Grung, which is cool.
And it doesn't require any attunement. You can pass this amongst everybody. It's called the Cloak of the Bullywug. And now he looks over at Zula and this sickle that's hanging at your side, and he explains to Kashta. He goes, basically, he says, "Hey, where did you get that? That is, I would pay handsomely for."
I would remove one of the patches, and turn to Zula and hand it to her and say, "I need this back," so she can understand and directly communicate.
No, nope.
No?
The patches bring out a frog.
A giant frog.
Well, I thought you had to activate it. Okay, well then never mind. I will not remove a patch, and I will just hand the cloak to Zula and say that I need this back.
Okay.
No problem.
So you put the cloak on. Chief of Babu says, "I will pay handsomely for that. That is going to be key to our fight against these undead and possibly Hemoth."
What is it?
He says, "I'm not going to explain it to you unless you're going to give it to me."
And I look at it, and I look again how it has the moon symbol on it, and for some reason I just feel normally I'm like a passive person, and I would just hand it right off, but something's telling me that this is something that I need to keep. And so I look at him, and I look at it, and I go, I don't think so.
He's very well. And he says, our arrangement, our agreement has come to an end, our contract, and thank you for protecting my people. We will allow you to leave our swamp in peace. We won't try to capture you until the next sunfall, or the next nightfall, when you'll be fair game for prey for Hemoth. So we'll give you that benefit, and as long as you're wearing the cloak, or somebody's wearing the cloak when we approach you, we'll give you an option to speak before we engage. If you venture back through the swamp, take care. There is a town where you'll be able to get some adequate rest. And we wish you the best of luck in all of your travels and endeavors. And if you do happen to stumble back on the side of the swamp, please see me and or call for me, and we'll make another deal or arrangement. Also, if any of you are responsible for taking our totem, we will search every end of this earth. There will be no barren crevice that you can find where we will not search. Now, if you hit, this is the last chance I'm going to give you to turn back this totem. That is the totem to Hemeth. It has been passed down for generation to generation to generation. She essentially gives us a little bit of power we need to hold him back from overtaking this swamp.
Well, what does the totem exactly do with the power? What kind of power does it hold?
It grants those who basically it allows you to. It opens up a multi-class option for you. You basically become a type of sorcerer that is able to command the frog Hemeth.
Dang.
Wow. And you guys lost that?
If we know it was stolen, we don't know if it is you for certain. If it was you, and we discover it was you, we'll find you and we will get it back.
Well, I appreciate everything that you guys have done kind of for us. I will say there are a lot of people that we found here, so I do hope that you do find it back soon. I will let my group know everything that's going on, and I'm gonna ask one more time, why do you need this so bad for Hemeth?
Those of royal blood, or those who the totem deems worthy of wielding power.
I'm not talking, well, royal blood with the totem deem, but I wasn't talking about the totem. I was talking about my selector right here. Why do you want
make a persuasion check.
Yeah.
Persuasion. One second. My sheet's being weird.
Dang.
That item is called the Moon Sickle. I'm going to put it in your box. And I will add it as an option for you.
Yes.
This is what it does. It deals 1d4 slashing damage. It's a silver-bladed sickle that glimmers softly with moonlight. While holding it, you gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with it. You gain a +1 bonus to attack rolls and saving throw DCs for your druid spells. Your bonus is determined by the rarity, which is a +1. In addition, you can use the sickle as a spellcasting focus for your spells, and when you cast a spell that restores hit points, you can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to the amount of hit points restored, provided you're holding the sickle.
Dang.
Very nice.
So,
Very nice.
Looking over at the frog, what are you gonna do to these people that stole the totem?
Well, you don't know this
you
conversation.
wouldn't have
'cause
understood.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can't understand it. I have to explain it.
Good point.
But I overhear you like trying to ask him, realizing
Wouldn't even ask him. If I didn't hear it, doesn't matter.
Doesn't
So-
matter. Well, I said totem, right? So would you still question something about a totem?
No,
You
because
heard
you're
me.
speaking
Oh,
whatever language.
I'm speaking Hemoth. Yeah, that's true. All right. So I out this information. I'm assuming by the guy, and I go, well, I appreciate all the information, but I definitely think this is something that I need to use. It'll definitely connect me with my God a little bit more. So let me tell my group everything that's gonna happen and everything that you said, and we'll most likely be on our way. One more question, just because I know that this totem is, you know, a huge thing to you. I kind of cut you off a little bit when I was asking about this sickle right here, but what were you explaining finally with that totem? I'm so sorry, that was so rude of me to interrupt you.
It's no matter. Now, like I said, you have until nightfall, where you will remain non-prey. Once the sun dips below the horizon, you will be prey for my tribe once again.
Excuse me, and I don't mean to pick and choose, because again, I've been very grateful that you've been helping us out. But didn't you say next nightfall originally?
Yeah, the next nightfall, the coming nightfall.
So that means we have right now and all tomorrow. It's the next nightfall.
No, you have probably 5 hours.
I'm just saying, and I start patting my eyes. The persuasion
Just-
check.
He says, points up, and he says, when that sun dips below the horizon, you will be prey.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And then I kind of take off the cloak so he can't really hear what I'm gonna say to everyone, because they don't speak our language, correct? Like when we talk.
No.
Okay.
I'll take it back.
So I hand it back to Kasha, and I go, "Oh, okay, guys. Here's the deal. So we are not prey until nightfall. So we only have a couple more hours. They did say that there is a town that we can go to that's beyond this path that will take us and that we can probably rest. On top of that, they're really pissed off about the totem and said that they will find the person who stole it. So apparently it has some powers that allows a multi-class. So I don't know. I think it might be something that they're gonna come after us about, but who knows? Maybe
They come after us
we can
about
use
that.
it, or come not
Yeah.
us,
Well-
but whoever
Yeah, it's
took
not like
it.
any of us have it.
Like whoever took it. So I just wanted to put that out there. And yeah, I say we head out of here because it seems like they said that the totem is the only magical thing that helps protect them from this hemoth.
I wanna.
Kosh, go ahead.
No, you go first.
Oh, I was just gonna say Kashta would be very peeved about Supper telling him that he's gonna be prey. I've eaten your kind before.
Oren is going to chime in and say, I am not one to desecrate anyone's gods, regardless of whether or not I believe in them. There is no amount of gold that we can pry off of that idol that we have not stolen in sapphires and rubies. We are not a band founded on greed. We are a band founded on truth, loyalty, defeating evil. Certainly we can afford to put back the idol that they worship. It would help us cleanse this valley, this pestilence that has already taken my son. Just put aside our differences in this regard. Please, give them the cloak, give them the idol.
and you think we took it? You're trusting these frog people that have lied to us countless of times, and you want to look at this group and said we took it?
But
I
still,
just think whoever took it doesn't. There are a lot of people in these woods. It might be good to just by accidentally drop it somewhere so no one knows where it came from, and it just so happens to go back. Because it did seem like they were a little pissed off, and if they're telling us to go to a certain town, who knows if they'll come to that certain town. We are prey at nightfall.
just metagaming. We could.
I was
Sorry,
about to
go ahead,
chime in gaming if you didn't mind first.
No, do it.
Hope just steps in and goes, "Listen, a man just lost his son. We just had a tough fight. Everyone's a little restless. Let's move on. This town sounds nice. Alright, we rest, we have a good meal, and then we figure out what we're doing from there. Enough this swamp, this forest. Let's have a nice roof over our shoulders."
Jorg immediately goes over to Hope and just hugs him right around his ankles. He's been saying what I've been wanting to say.
So metagaming, we could just sell the idol, and responsibility has been passed to whoever we sell the fucking rich ass idol to. And then
wherever we have dinner, that will always come to us because they're
True.
gonna keep searching. So it's really however you want. We're gonna talk about this later.
I was gonna say
okay.
they never showed any of us the idol, so we don't know that they have it.
Yeah,
right?
So,
it's just
okay.
me.
Oren,
And,
so my understanding is Oren is just like, listen, if you took it, let's give this
Yeah.
shit back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oren's
And
not a
then you
fucking
guys are
idiot,
like-
okay? I'm dealing with a card player, a fucking tinkerer, and a witch doctor. Somebody stole that fucking idol, and he's very close.
I like how we're making it like, if you did, we have an inkling.
in game,
What did the frogman say he'll do to us if we found the idol?
So what he said is that he will make sure that they will get it back. Apparently, it's a big deal, and it's the only magic saving them from this Emeth god.
Speaking of,
So-
I had one question to ask him. Koshta, does that cloak let you speak with them?
does.
Might I borrow it for a second?
You may, and I'll give him the cloak, and then as soon as the cloak is relinquished, I would quietly. I wouldn't know if you know. Drow have a thing called hand sign. It's like sign language. Would another elf? No, would that be like a common thing among elves, or would that only be a Drow elf trait?
I would probably say it's only drow, but I think over the course of a couple rests, you can probably teach somebody.
Okay. So, in Elvish and very, very quietly, like, just only, so, Bliss can barely hear, I would say, maybe we can bargain, like, this witch doctor is very proficient in healing, and maybe he will be able to ail, Oren and Hope of whatever the vampiric essence ails them.
Oh, don't forget about the grubs.
And the grubs, yeah, thank you, Dave.
Wait,
And
I
the
thought
grub.
we got the grubs out.
Yeah.
No, we just stopped them. We just
Yeah, they're just dormant.
the
just
only thing it
chilling.
would be was like pointing out like, yo, we got some leverage. Like they need this thing, and Oren's kind of right. We made bank, so
Okay, I thought they shriveled out last time.
I think two did or one did.
Oh no, you're right. No, I think you're right.
Yeah,
Yep,
I was
Nick's
gonna
right.
say,
Yep. Yeah, he's
I
been
think
carrying.
Rise
we brought
down.
him out.
But I want to go back up to the witch doctor, and just ask, what do you plan to do with Hemeth? If he's angry, you plan to fight him?
There's no sense in fighting Hemeth. He's a god, after all. However, going to have to find suitable sacrifices for him. Keep his belly full. If not, the old, the weak, and the injured of our own people will have to suffice until we can find suitable sacrifices.
How tall are these guys?
They're about 4.5, 5 feet tall.
All right. Okay. So, not like kneeling down, but kind of like leaning in. I put a hand on his shoulder and said, "Well, I hope you don't have to sacrifice any young or any one of yours, but just know I'll leave you with this. Gods aren't as strong as you think they are. They're only here to shackle us, to keep us bound. Okay? This may be an opportunity, not so much, this might be an opportunity. It might not be a good chance to miss it. And I like leaving with that.
And he kind of like takes it, like he's digesting what you just told him.
Yeah, I'll make a persuasion check if I have to. I mean, I'm not looking for like any, just like
No,
to see
this is
I am.
the response that
Okay.
he's getting is he's contemplating, some deep contemplation of the
Alright.
words that you just you spoke to him.
And I return that cloak to Kashta.
So, all right.
When you return the cloak to Akasha, I just go over to Akasha and I go, the one thing I forgot to ask, which is probably a really good question, I feel like you should ask it, is what the town name is and what direction we should go to so we're not prey.
Yeah, I would just ask that, for the sake of time. Just ask for directions out of their
They
lair.
know it as the prey source.
The prey source?
What? I love that.
I don't know the name of the town.
I
They
know.
just-
I don't know what I was expecting. I just love it.
My
Dinner.
all
It's
my
called dinner.
instincts say display this Bullywug clan now and have.
He says that the prey source is approximately 6 croaks in that direction, and to get the hell out of his swamp because you will be prey at nightfall.
The prey source.
Do we know how to get out of the swamp? Because last time we tried to walk around the swamp, we kept walking around in circles.
Yeah,
Somebody was keeping a map. Someone was keeping a map.
I would just prompt him to give us a guide instead of mappies. Be like, all right, give us a guide and we'll get the guide.
We don't owe you a guide.
And you guys are invited.
As
to
far as
Ned
I'm
Garmer's
concerned,
Dingy
as far as I'm
ass
concerned,
frog.
as soon as much he basically says, listen, as far as I'm concerned, it's a body for a body. It's a fine hunting dog that you have.
No.
Listen.
And I spit on the ground and start just walking away from them. Like this interaction. We out.
Let's
Figure it out.
let's get away
What
from here.
body
Let's meet
did
at
he
the.
give us?
Let's
we
meet
get a
at.
body out of it.
No,
No,
life
he
for a
says-
life was the theme
Yeah.
throughout.
Let's meet
The
at the.
interaction.
Let's go to the crossroads and take it from there. Get away from this place. Put distance between us and them.
I could.
So what
He goes-
happens at
he looks-
nightfall?
Looks at everybody, and he says, he points up at the sky, prompting you to look at the sky and the setting sun.
Your then points at my ass.
During this time, because we have Elvis still, correct?
Yes.
He gave us the direction. 6 croaks. I can't remember, but we do know how far a croak is. It was explained to us.
A mile.
A mile. 6 miles.
So 6 miles that way. Because I was gonna say if we have Elvis, we can have him kind of try to lead us. I don't know if there's like a smell of a town.
We just gotta, as the night goes down, we gotta keep an eye on the stars.
Yeah.
That's how we're gonna be moving around. So, I'd say we just keep going that direction that he says, and once we can start seeing more and more of the stars, just look up.
Is it, if you don't mind me asking, is the direction that he pointed by chance the exact way we came in? Because we
Yes.
would directionally know, right? That
Yeah.
yeah. So
When
it was.
we were drawing the map, it was like all over the place. It was like we're kind of going right. I'm sorry, I can't find the paper I had.
Yeah,
in
no,
this book.
it's
But, yeah, it was
it
like
was- it
around
was
the
west.
lake.
it was east. It was because south east. Yeah, it was east. So you go back through the forest to where those where you saw the
The Yavis.
you know
Like here right
the
now.
Aves guys, and then going south would have been where the flickering lights, the torch lights of the town were.
So essentially, Elvis would kind of remember that, correct? Being
I would say
around.
so. Yeah.
Okay,
You can
so
give it a
I
try.
take hold of Elvis, and I scratch his ear, and I just whisper, "Let's get out," or I whisper, "Let's get out of here,"
Okay.
and I hope that he kind of like leads us.
Let's just overall, just for the travel, I'll just roll. I need everybody to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ooh, damn.
Okay.
R.I.P.
Okay.
All right. I just need 1, 2, 3. I just need Jorg and Oren.
I'm getting there.
I have the highest so far. Oh boy.
10 plus 9 plus 12 plus 8 plus 5 plus, and then I need Oren.
Do you want me to roll for him? Oh.
Right here. Out of what?
I'm in Roy.
Constitution saving throw.
I'm sorry.
What's your con stat? Like, what's your modifier?
Constitution modifier is 3.
Oh, 13.
Divided by 6. The DC was 10. The overall was 9.5. Just everybody takes level of exhaustion. Just for that's it. All right. So you make so right now your just ability checks are made at disadvantage. That's it. So as you're wandering through the swamp, you're kind of you're dodging all these bramble bushes and like the toxic puddles of like gelatinous cube, all these different things you're dodging, and you can just hear just like distant croaks as a hunting party of bullywugs is like close, just watching close behind. You make it to the Yaves burial site, and at this point the sun is just barely peeking over the horizon as you continue south, and you can see that a series of torches are just being lit almost like in sequence, like 1, 2, 3, 4. And you, after several more feet, or several more, after about a mile or so, you reach, where is it?
Right.
You can see like the deep in this valley, at this basin at the base of the valley, you can see all these torches being lit, and you see these figures just lighting like standing torches, and you're about 100 feet from the town.
I'm telling you, we are making a mistake. These bullywugs will hunt us until the end of the night, and onward. Insult the gods with our very actions.
I think a nice place to rest will do us some good. Let's head in. Carefully. You said they're torches. You said 100 feet out.
About 100 feet out, you can see what you could assume to be some sort of guard or some sort of civil servant, just lighting standing torches, and there's a large gate, like a stone gate, like an archway, and 2 figures standing at the archway, holding their lanterns.
Yeah, I'd like to approach.
Okay.
I mean,
So you-
these charisma stats gotta be put to good use, aren't they?
alright, you approach, and the
Yeah.
two guards
I want to
immediately.
I want to approach with kind of like a huff, like a. I just saw the
So-
torchlight.
You look over, like they look at each other. They bare their spears. They look at you. Not a step closer, devil.
Listen. We just coming. We got lost in the forest. We've been walking around for hours now. We saw your torches once the light set. I'm sorry. Could you pardon us some aid?
Drop your belt to the ground, please.
Aye.
At this time, Oren would like to step a little to Hope's side and just be like, "Oh, brother, just with the travelers, you'll have to pardon my party. We're very diverse."
That's strange. We've never had any travelers here before. He looks over to his partner. He says, "Sound the horn." And you can see he reaches down and he blows this horn, and several other guards, like all somewhat matching uniforms, they come down from their towers, and they all they run with their torches and everything. And now you have about 30 guards, just like all at like pike point, just like, "You say you're travelers. Never had those before."
We've come outside of the stones in the forest. We've fought many a great foe, and we are exhausted. We'll be able to fill you in on more details inside, if you would grant us.
Devil, what say you?
What's that me? It's all true, just like we had spoken.
Make a persuasion check at just make a persuasion check.
Aye.
Oh my
Aye.
god.
I suppose it was bound to happen sooner or later. Bound the devil in chains.
That will not be necessary. He's a member of my party and will pass freely.
Bind him in chains too, for the safety of everyone involved.
I look at Oren,
Why?
I'm like, listen.
How many guards are there?
30.
30.
Under my breath, just so the party could hear, I would be like, "What if we bribe them all with 1 silver piece each? Grease
Right.
the wheels into our city. We can do a lot of good here."
I just I try to, since we just had like a major like consciousness expansion together, I like kind of put my hand down at my hip, like motioning for you to fill it with silver.
I do not have the I don't know. I have
Hope
some
has the
gold,
silver.
but Hope has all of the silver.
Hope has
Yes,
the
I do.
silver.
But
Okay.
I'm currently being bound in chains.
So at this
Uh,
point, these guards are going up to Oren. They've seen everybody else, and they're gesturing like to just start locking everybody up.
wanna-
Hope at this point they're putting a chain around his neck. They're bounding his wrists, and they're bounding his wrists to a chain belt, and they're doing the same with Oren, and they're starting it with everybody else.
I want to go and I have Elvis in hand, correct?
Yes.
And I want to say, hey, excuse me, we are part of the guild house. We were sent here
Guild
for owl
house.
bears.
Owl bears. Vicious
You-
creatures.
We were sent
Never
here
heard
for
of no
owl
guild
bears.
house.
We are
Uh,
from the guild.
Find,
This ha-
find the creature too.
This head
No.
guy, I would cast Mind Vapor on.
Okay. So, go ahead.
Fuck.
That is a hit.
Okay, that's a hit.
It's a
Awesome.
saving throw, isn't it? It's a saving throw,
Yes,
right?
there. It does get a saving throw. It gets a saving throw of my spell save DC, which is
Well, it failed. So,
okay.
Six.
Well, it failed. So I would take this creature and I would charm it. It sees me as a close friend or a benevolent being. And I would reveal myself from the hood, which is why I didn't notice of the cloak, which is why I didn't notice me before. And like, you have to let us into your town unchained, and we will help you prosper. You will give us rest and food.
I suppose. Hold on one moment. And he like calls over one of the other guards that seems to be a little more light on his feet, like a courier of sorts. And he says, "Run back to the temple. Let Father know." And then you see him dart off. He goes, "As we wait, suppose we can use this lull in the action for lend an open ear. Where are you from? We haven't had anyone venture into the gates of our town in nearly 600 years."
I am from Fair Willow, which is only mere miles from here. It is astounding that you have not had visitors.
Is it astounding? Have you seen their hospitality?
You'll have to pardon the gnome. He
We've
has
read
a-
about them in our fairy tales. We thought they passed. There's no more of them except the one.
Damn.
Now I know there are two.
Oh my gosh.
Who you have mentioned a temple? Who do you pray to here?
And everybody like looks at each other, and they're kind of like at the impression we're like, okay, we really can't put ourselves at this positional disadvantage by just like dropping to a knee. But he kind of like looks at the others and he like nods his head, and the rest of the guards they kneel down in prayer, and he says, our blessed Tabris, the angel.
Do I know who that is?
Do you know who it is? You can make a history check.
History or religion?
Religion. Yeah, make a religion. That would work.
Well, okay. Crap.
As far as you can tell, I mean, you know, a little. You've never heard the name before, but you know that angels are benevolent, and they're usually worshipped by good people.
So, I hear him say angel, right? And I'm fully bound. Would I be able to somatically be able to cast a spell, or would you say no?
What spell are you trying to cast?
I'm trying to cast Silent Image, and I want to produce the image of Xerxes in front of them and say, "Is this your angel?" I'm totally fine with any option.
So you're trying to like kind of move your hands like this to cast.
Yeah,
or
just
whatever?
like I figured they're chaining behind me, right, or in front of me.
No, they're in front and like kind of like they're bound together and then to your belt, like to a
Yeah,
chain.
I would let everyone know. I'd be like, if you don't mind, do you mean something like this? And that's how I want to introduce my hand movement.
So, okay. So you're moving your hand and you create what, an image? How big? Like almost like a.
I want it to like tower above it. It could be a 15-foot cube. So I want it to be like above us, like looming over the guards, and just this angelic just visage of Xerxes, one that I've seen in the visions, where like the light is just like pouring out from behind her, to try to give this really awe-inspiring presence.
Okay. You scare the ever-loving hell out of these guards. These guards are like magic, meant for father and father alone.
Oh fuck!
And he was
Digging a
the
hole for
only one,
ourselves.
the only one who can cast. Oh my!
As he
Devil's tricks, I see.
as I
Must
hear
be.
that, it is no trick. Your father has lied to you, and I would cast dancing lights and just like illumine the as many of them as I can, like a harmless little dancing purple light.
The other guards look over and they're like, "What are you doing? This is heresy to the highest of orders." There's like, you can see now he's just sweating bullets. Like he's just like been compelled to just like be agreeable, but he's just, let's wait and get word from father, right? And at that moment, the courier comes back and he says, he whispers to him. He says, as I thought, father says, untie them, unbound them, bring them in, follow us, and you're unbound from
Dave,
your
can you
chains.
repeat the name or type the name of the angel in the chat? I just want to put it in my notes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And while that's going on, because I saw everyone else kind of doing the magic, I want to make, with my druid craft, the flower, and just like hand it off to the guard.
And the guard just like takes the flower, and
I just give a smile.
they are just in absolute shock. And they still have like their pikes and hands on swords and various, and they follow you, and the main guard, hi, follow me and speak to my captain. We'll meet outside the temple of Tapers. He walks you up to the temple. As you're walking through the temple, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, on the way up to the temple, I would try to get in his ear and tell him that his way of life isn't what he thought, and that he should reevaluate and secretly gather some who are loyal to him, just in case this goes sour.
Before
You know, like,
before Kasha starts
coup.
before Kasha starts doing that, I just want to ask him politely his name. The guard's name.
The name is Elwyn.
Elwyn. All right. Well. All right. Kasha has something to ask you.
Yeah, thanks. Since he's charmed by me, you know, I'm just gonna. That's
Charmed, like, I just want to clarify. Charmed means like a friendly demeanor. Doesn't mean under your control. It's not mind control.
right. But close friend or benevolent. So like, it's a, you know, just like, hey, food for thought. You have obviously seen magic that is like, you know, only the father is supposed to have. So like, maybe rethink some stuff. In case you're being manipulated. That's all. Just plant a bug. Nothing like, gather this army and meet me at the base, but like, it's a potential ally. We have to get out of the city in a rush.
Okay, gotcha.
Avenues, baby.
Okay, he says, I'll try to keep that in mind, friend. And they walk you to the temple. They walk you into these large, like, mahogany doors. They open up, and it's a, like, the only, like, stone structure in the town. The rest of the town is made up of these, you know, wooden, finely crafted, you know, homes and buildings, but this is the only one that's really made out of, like, finely cut stone. As you walk in, you can see that there is a, he walks you up, you can see that there is a human male standing, holding a great sword, like a very, very large sword, like holding it like this. And then at the temple, counting what appears to be different coins and different like beads and like homemade things, like on an altar, like kind of just like arranging them around in front of this giant statue of what you can assume to be Tapers. And this cleric is a very, very old, very stout, and like his skin is just weather beaten, dwarven man. And Helwyn says, that's his father by the altar, and his guard, Ulfric.
Father, what?
We call him father.
He's not my father.
Clearly. All right then. Well said.
As far as you can tell, everybody that you've interacted with, all the guards, have been human.
Is he human? Is father human?
Human. Father's a dwarf.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I walk up to him and I'm just like, I am Oren Freewinter of the village Farewello.
Before you speak in our church, you must present an offering to Tabris. It is the cost of speech within these walls.
Give him the idol.
And that is Ulfric, and that is coming from that is coming from Ulfric, guard.
Okay. I'm used to like penance and communion or whatever, but like this is ridiculous. So I kind of just look back at Kashta, like, how you trying to play this?
I look over at Bliss like, how you trying to play this?
We all just kind of look at
Because
each other.
Bliss also has money too, so
Yeah,
like
here's
he's got a
all the
bunch of money, so
like
it's however Bliss wants to play it. Like,
flip him a coin, just a
I'm
coin.
going to.
Yurig steps forward and puts
There
his
you go.
shiniest
It's
gear
not the-
on the table.
Shiny as me.
Why must
Here.
you be oh so
Okay.
unfriendly to a surprising new guest, there, Ulfric? Have your guards walk them out. I'm fine here. I'd like to speak to our friends, friends in private, if you will. I'll be fine. I'm sure. I'll be fine.
private audience is wise.
And Orfrig looks and he goes, "Father, are you sure?" And he kind of just raises his hand and he goes, "As you wish, Father." He kind of walks by and he kind of like bumps Oren in the shoulder, like a shoulder bump, as he walks back towards the doors. And he looks back as he closes them and this is quite curious. Now, I haven't had visitors since I was a young lad. That's saying something for a dwarf age. What brings you to Whalehaven?
Believe we were
Great.
lost, looking for shelter.
To accommodate you.
Whalehaven.
What Tabris would expect his servants to do for those in need. What I do ask is, per tradition and to the overwhelming overall well-being of our town. You just daily make an offering to Tabris upon her altar, and if you wish to speak within her temple, please require a separate offering. That's, I'm sure it's no surprise to you that the basin here in the valley has been cursed for quite some time, and you've managed to pierce this curse, and I'm curious to know how or why.
I'll walk up and I'll place 10 gold coins on the altar as for the entire group, and I'll walk back and just sit down and say, "Your conversation bores me," and I'll sit down and not speak for the rest of the time.
I think that is sufficient enough gold to allow us to speak and stay here for quite some time.
I'd have to agree, though. It's not customary here to present themselves as rude as you have, but
You tried to chain us at the gate.
you have to understand, there, friend, that we haven't had anyone walk through our gates in over 600 years. 600 years, our town has been in isolation, been surrounded by the shroud of evil.
Who were your
Only
last
help-
visitors?
Yeah. How did the toad people know you were here?
Whenever, listen, there's a lot to be explained, and we shall do so in the morn. It's quite late. But what I can afford you now, in terms of knowledge and understanding, is that these foul creatures, they haunt. I suppose they're desperate as we. 600 years ago, the shroud came. Wail, the chilling wail through our valley enveloped Whalehaven. I was but a lad. The only one who remembers. A Tabris came down from the heavens and surrounded our city in light. Now, we pay Tabris in offerings, gold or charity or food, bounty, whatever we can afford to keep this protection strong. But beyond the light of our torches at the edge of town, separating Whalehaven from the rest of the valley proper, there's an evil. Those torches must be lit, the offerings must be made, or we will lose Abris's favor. Now, there will be more to converse about in the morning.
I want to do the
I
same
suggest-
thing that I did down at the gate with Xerxes, the image of her, and ask if that's Tabor's.
So projects. So you project the silent image. Oh, very special. After not seeing the outside world in so long, I thought that I might be the only one capable of doing such things. That is not Tabris, but in my studies I've come to know Xerxes very well. Perhaps me and
When
you-
he says Xerxes, I quickly wrap it up and kind of like just shy off as if I had shown too much.
Well, listen, if you have any questions, young one, we'll sit down and we'll have a conversation. However, this is what I would suggest. Why don't you just have Ulfrig walk you, not in chains or bound in any sort of any sort, and head over to the local inn. It's run by Norm. It's funny that you have a gnome amongst you. He is the also a gnome, the only one in town, and it's going to be little one. You're going to be a warm sight, nice sight to behold for Norm. Please, I tire.
Same.
And, I will see you in the morning. Best of luck, and please help yourself. Have Norm let Norm know that your housing and your food is on me for the evening.
We should definitely do that.
So Ulfrig walks over and he goes, "Father, I shall walk them down." I couldn't help but eavesdrop. All it that hypervigilance of you, the main guard, of being the head guard, what you tasked me for, your safety. Strangers, follow me to Norm's.
Thank you very much, Ulfric. Great duty for such a strong god.
I am married, but let's continue on.
I kawaii blush. And I'm just like,
So, walk over and uh, don't mind the daylight. It's still nighttime, but this is just the backdrop that I have. Okay, so 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 you venture into this little inn, and you can see this gnome like sitting on like a stack of books on a stool, sitting at the end, like not behind a bar, but at the end of the bar. He's like one of those friendly kind of owners that kind of likes to walk around and whatever. And he says, "Oh, come on in." No. And then Gnomish, he says, he tells Yorig, he goes, come here. I have something for you. Come on, come here.
Also, knowing Gnomish, I would walk over also.
He goes, come. He doesn't. He goes, hey. So I'd like to show you something that I've been working on. It's been a little bit of a contraption. Father doesn't like my silly little contraptions. He puts up with me, but I have something for you. We can talk after the fact. But anywho, and he now back to everybody as a whole. He says, I'm Norm, and I'm the innkeep here. If you have any questions or concerns, just feel free to ask. Is there anything I can whip up for you?
yeah.
Yeah. They said dinner would be on you tonight.
And your best rooms.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right away.
Hungry.
So he kind of like snaps his finger, and you can see like this black cat just like walk across and like hop over the thing, over the counter, and go up onto the shelves and like take like a key ring off the hook, and then walk it back down to him, and he kind of like takes the key rings off, and he says, "Here are your rooms. They're numbered. Here you go." And he starts handing them out. I'll just bring out a platter of whatever, unless you have anything in particular that you'd like. Is there anything you'd like to drink?
I have a water.
Yeah, I'll have water too.
Water
I'll
from
take
the
an
well.
ale.
This is a dry establishment.
Water.
Yorig hears that it's a dry establishment, takes out my alchemy jug and says, "That's fine, because this is just water, not wine." Opens it up and takes a swig.
Okay, that's perfect. He smiles. Now, I haven't had anybody in here for quite some time, but I'd like to tell you about the last group of rowdy adventurers that I've had come in here. That's okay. Now, would you like to hear a story?
Oh yeah, I thought you I thought that was the introduction to it.
No. Here's the story. It's about this man. His name is Jose, and Jose, right? Jose, he comes in. And he's an aspiring adventurer. He comes in, and this is before we were a dry establishment. He comes in, and he's highly intoxicated. And I'm told, when you become a bartender, and they tell you not to overserve those, especially those who are drinking. They're drunk. But Jose was insistent, and he says, if I may tell you about Jose. Jose he's a stout dwarven man. I'm not saying that dwarves are particularly they always consume alcohol, or if I'm not trying to be prejudiced, but he was definitely your traditional dwarf, and he he says, "May I have a drink?" And I say to Jose, I say, "Well, I can't serve you these drinks. It's just you've had too much to drink." And he says to me, he goes, "You know what, Norm? I've been on these adventures. I've been out into the wilderness. I've come back, and I didn't believe him. And I said to Jose, do you know what I said to Jose?
What?
I said, no way, Jose. I said, no way, Jose. I said, there's no way that you went out and he told me that he was digging. So what do you find a spot to dig? And he goes, well, I had to. It's just my brothers have passed. And he figured, he was insatiable thirst for something. And he thought ale would quench that thirst.
Are you talking
Anyways,
about Jose Yarvez?
I suppose. I suppose it's strange. If you would know them, he hasn't been in here in several hundred years. Anywho, Jose, I ended up giving Jose his drink, and he drank that drink, and he got drunk. He did, and I told him, I said, you know what, Jose? I know I said no way, Jose, but for you, you really ought to not drink so much. You drink yourself to death. And he said, it's funny you say that. It's a funny phrase to use. And I was confused by this because he quite fine to me. Dwarves are known to drink and drink and drink. And I don't know. I find myself rambling. So, anywho, why don't you just mention the Yavis? It's funny you say I've heard that name in so long. The clubhouse, the man, he used to play, the brothers, they play cards in this clubhouse up on the hill. Gambling. It's not healthy either. You drink and you gamble and, your money away. And I said, Jose, you pissing your money away, Jose. There's no... Fine. Well, Jose. And then that's it. I said, Jose, shouldn't play cards up at that clubhouse, Jose, and should stop drinking. And
you already mentioned that.
It's the last time that I saw Jose. Anyway, it's just getting quite late. Enjoy your water and your jug of water, and I see you in the morning.
What about food?
Oh, the food. That's right. And he kind of like snaps his finger, and the cat just goes and just walks like this counter runs like across and then like through like this like service window, and the cat goes back there and just like starts just like pushing plates out of the thing, and you can see like in the back you can see like these pistons and things like that just like moving like a pot around, and like there's like these different gadgets and props that are just like cooking and stuff in the back, like nobody's back there.
Since Yorig and I are standing the closest to this innkeep, and I also speak Gnomish, I would show him the top of the gem, because he also seems to be a tinkerer, and ask him, would you show me this clubhouse tomorrow morning? And do you think we might be able to use one of your contraptions to make this into smaller pieces?
Oh my, it's quite curious. It reminds me. Back in a long time ago, I was venturing out into the wilderness and came across such an item. Curious it was. I was able to lift it. It was quite impenetrable and breakable even. And And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be spectacular? I can get this, back to my workshop, and wasn't able to. Now, just several hundred years later, you walk in through my doors and you present me this thing, this what I sought after.
Yes, and we know Jose Alves.
So now, who's that? It's funny you bring him up. He was an adventurer quite like yourselves. He would venture out into the wilderness, and I told him, I said, you shouldn't go out there. It's quite dangerous, especially with the curse, the shroud, the whales. He says, no, fine, I'll be fine. And I said, no way, Jose, he won't be fine. Well, in the morn, we shall take a look. And that is where we're going to end today's session.
Nice.
No way, Jose.
Any questions?
I don't want to get stuck in that guy's conversation tomorrow morning. Like, yeah, you might show me something cool, but yeah, I don't want to get stuck in that conversation.
Dave's like,
excited.
man, my players have really been lacking human interaction. Let me give them some humans that hate them, that are awful at carrying conversations. Thanks, Dave. Thanks.
So, all right, starting. Let me see if I can remember the opposite order that I remember. It was black shirt and beard. How did you feel about how did you feel about today's session?
I'm assuming you're referencing me. Yes. The combat was sick. The role play was also amazing. I think my favorite part was just interacting with Oren. I just think that your son being the embodiment of the power that resides in you is like one of the coolest things ever. I was really pumped for that. Get to role play around. I'm curious to see in the future what happens with the idol, what we can do with this crystal, and what's good with this town, because this dwarf kind of seems like the Wizard of Oz. Like, he's just running this big thing and like, I am the Wizard of Oz, I am the great wizard, and he's just this short little dude. So I don't like it at all, and I'm
No way, Jose.
yeah, no way, Jose. I was gonna ask in Gnomish, like, is Jose the father? Like, is that who this guy is? Because he sounds like a real clown. But I'm pumped, and I can't believe we get to play in 2 days.
Yeah, we're playing on Friday.
So let's go, dude. This was an awesome session.
Awesome. Oh man, what was the next one? I think it was Nick was next. Beard. Redbeard.
Redbeard, me?
I think you were next.
Okay. Whatchamacallit? I thought the RP this session definitely just like outshined like everything. I had fun with the combat. I had fun with like the traveling and stuff, but I think everyone talked in character like the most this session. I thought that was really cool.
Okay. I think it was Ashley next.
Yeah, I thought that I think my favorite was just like the combat that we had in the beginning, because we kind of all really like led with like what our best attributes were, and I just also
massacred my boy.
I also just really loved the whole interaction between Oren and Kashta, and how they like did the trip, and like I don't know, I thought that was just like the coolest thing, how they like really acted on it. That was my favorite.
I agree. Okay, Nick. Blue box with beard.
Well, you know, again, there's a lot of different things that I look on record. Honestly, like
Went
you
through a
write the
lot.
best sessions. You role play the shit out of these things, and you really have a great world that you've made. Um, dude, I don't know, man. Like, I'm still like, there's no time to grieve for my son. Like, even when I was grieving, nobody fucking like did shit. They were just like doing crystals. Yeah, like they all like avoided
I
me
was
like the
over
plague.
there. Are you kidding
The only
me?
person, the only
I was
person
over
was
there and
Zula.
had my arm
Uh-uh.
around
Oh,
you.
I know.
And then
I know.
Kasha came over. So don't even play that. We were all like fuck you.
I mean, like, it's like I don't wanna. I don't know. I really don't. Whew, I'm
I think
saying
that's
a
just
lot
the
of things
mashup
right
of the party, though. Like Bliss was like, we have 2 orphans, right? Or one, you,
Yeah, no, I'm an
Yeah.
orphan who's
2
struggling
orphans,
with heavy
and
abandonment issues.
yeah,
So
and a dude with daddy issues, and so everyone else who knows what it's like to lose family or whatever confronted you. These other
Yeah.
people are really confused about that so it works. You know what I mean? It's like, and we're still kind of new to each other. What was the quote you used in the beginning, Dave? You didn't call us friends. You called us like lightly acquainted or something.
Yeah, strangers becoming acquaintances,
Yeah,
hated
that's all.
allies or whatever.
I mean, I just don't know how much Oren, like, you know. I don't know how long he's gonna last doing this. Like, he just lost the only thing that he fucking lives for. I might have to change character soon. So, that might be something like a curveball I throw at our viewers, that maybe I introduce a new person. We'll see. Again, like, this is like, you think that this doesn't take an actual real emotional toll, and maybe I'm just sensitive. Maybe I don't fucking
It
know,
does,
dude.
dude.
Like, it really is. It's one of those
Dave-
things where you wanna
Dave almost
Or,
made me
like,
cry twice in his speech, dude. Like, it was like, yeah, you're emotionally invested in the story.
It's
It was
also
good.
like
was
it might help with the emotions
no one else.
at this moment to like keep the character to like grow like with the sun. You know what I mean? Because now the sun's within you. So there's like it's like layers. It's like an onion. Like how
Yeah.
Shrek explains, it's like an onion. Like literally, there's
Yeah.
so many layers of all of our characters, and Dave just does such a fantastic job with that. And so I don't know. I would personally like to see Oren like grow, because you played like
Big facts.
phenomenal tonight. Yeah.
Top 3 character for Nick Palmer
Yeah,
in
like,
my eyes.
You did so good this session. So like I know that part of it is hard, and I'm sure that we're all gonna go in crazy hardships because Dave is a DM like that. But like you
Character
grow
growth.
from those hardships. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you're gonna figure out like how Kasha kind of had you almost like kind of talked you into like this level. How you even said it. You even said it during this time. Like I was within and I was without. And now you're like, I finally saw Kasha at my level. Like, it's like your character's starting to grow, and it's like amazing for us as a group, and it's amazing for the viewers because they see that too.
X.
What about you, Dill? What do you think?
I'm on the same page as Tim. The fact that like the great powerful odds going on in this town, like the way Bliss played, like, oh, let me just throw coins on the table. Like if I was Bliss, I would have fucking bound and tied that guy, threw him in the back, and like started taking advantage of the entire town, because like, oh, you're getting gold out of this? Sweet, I'll take advantage of this somehow. Like there's something weird going on in town.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, there was a lot to unravel. I mean, as a viewer, I feel for Oren. Hopefully later on he'll find solace that like he's now forever bound to his son, even though he's like physically not there. As a player at Bliss, like I can give 2 shits because I barely know this person. Like it's gonna feel more cringeworthy for me to put a hand on your shoulder to try to comfort you. Like don't ever expect that from me. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't
But
expect
yeah,
it ever from you, Mike. Ever.
I'm telling you how I felt as a viewer and versus player. Like, there's two different things. But as far as this town goes, like, there was a lot you just unpacked in the 2 seconds we were there, and plus like the 15-minute conversation of rambling.
What did you guys think of that? I was like, oh, I'm gonna fucking slam him with some fucking nonsense.
Dude.
I wanted to shut you up.
I'm
dude.
gonna
Like,
slam
you
him.
kept giving us new pieces of information, so I was like,
I couldn't help myself. I was like,
set you up.
I'm like, you know what? I gotta gauge this to the point where I can stretch it. Where you guys are gonna be like, this guy gotta shut the fuck up, and then like, boom, it's like throw something in. Wait, what did he say? And be like, okay,
Yeah,
I
you
guess,
did that so well. You like, 'cause you were so close to like just getting slammed down, and then you're like, new piece of information. You're like, all right, let's hear it out. You gotta, yeah, you couldn't have done it any better than that. That was very artistically done.
What do you think? No
Just
way, Jose.
No way.
Dylan just left.
Hope.
All right. The because the panels are now off.
It's all right. They're off. They're off for the end. It's not a big deal. What did you say, Ash?
My favorite was Hope, and he was like, I thought that was the start of the story.
Yeah. Dude.
Or like,
Dude. Oh,
He
it's
was
so brilliant because
you
like
said that before.
everyone has has suffered a level of exhaustion. So in game we're like,
And we're like,
fuck. And this guy's just like, oh yeah, you ordered food, I guess. Like, yeah.
let's have the cat bring it.
Yeah,
With
right.
yours.
oh god, it was just. I was like, when I was writing that, I was like, oh, they're gonna fucking hate this.
Dude.
Oh god, I'm always trying to find new ways to torture you guys, and that one was just like, you just had
Dude,
to.
that was verbal abuse.
I yeah, uncomfortable as shit. I contemplated casting in Code Thoughts to like give it like a sense of urgency, you know, like a little pep in your step, like give them that emotion from the party, like.
Oh god, I could not help myself. I was and then Hope is just like, it's nice you've been tasked such a strong man such as yourself. And I'm sitting there like, I'm married.
Yeah, well, no. What was he? He went up to the cleric and was just like, "I've done everything that you've asked, and like just trying to earn your mark, sir." And I'm just like, dude, this guy.
That was funny.
Oh god.
Dude, this was a really fun session. I had a lot of fun.
I
Are
had
we good to
a
wrap up stream?
blast, especially Norm. Do you know who I base Norm off of?
Ooh.
I base Norm off of, it's a fusion of the mannerisms, light mannerisms of Donald Trump, but also the late Norm Macdonald, was it Macdonald, the comedian that just passed?
Yeah.
Right. Because he does his bits, like when he does his comedic bits, it's like this long drawn out just explanation of just like nothing, and then at the end is this punchline that is just like, it's stupid, just a stupid punchline that is just like, you made us wait through all of this for that, like,
No way.